think we got it? Okay, I just hit go live. Let's see. People, let me know in chat. Did I have this working? I am new to streaming like on the internet. I don't know why I had all this set up properly earlier, but OBS just and my Mac decided, hey, we're gonna. Okay, you're seeing me? Cool. So that's all my stuff. Hopefully. Okay, here we are. I can see you, hear you, everything's good. Great. Welcome, guys. I hope you're all doing well tonight. I had all of this set up before I left. I swear to the gods. And came back. All of a sudden now nothing's working. So I'm a little nervous because it's been a while since I shared my desktop and I give things stupid names. So of the many ways I'm worried about canceling myself, this is one of the many. Anywho. I hope you're all doing well. We're going to give some time to people to hopefully filter in. This is going to be an interesting stream. Not to run, it sucks that I didn't run into you. I'm sorry about that, buddy. I'll be chat about that in a little bit. It's Monday after a con, and yes, I feel sick. I am exhausted. My legs don't hurt as much today. Part of me wanted to go outside and walk, but I also didn't. I think I was averaging 16,000 plus steps a day when I was at the con, like running around the con. And my last day on Sunday, I had like 26,000 steps, and that's a lot of steps. And the other sucky part about the last day was I was carrying my book bag full of all my gear, and that bag probably weighed like 50 pounds because it had all my clothing for the weekend. It had my photography gear and whatever knickknacks I needed, chargers, tablets, a little mini video game console, and a few other things. So basically, I burned some calories. And I'm so sorry for the camera being this bad, but the lighting in my apartment is uber trash, and it's kind of better in the kitchen, but I didn't want to be over there because it's really hot over there for me. So yeah, anyway, so it was a good weekend. Hopefully people are in. I'm scared of actually just showing, like going over and seeing what's happening too much, because I don't know if I might share something I shouldn't. But Otakon was a lot of fun. Let's open. All right, so let's start this. I got accepted to the press at Otakon a decent amount of time ago, thankfully, and I reached out to the staff about getting the press stuff. Yeah, baby, I ordered. And thankfully they got back to me, and I was asking for a few things from the staff, like, hey, can I have permission to be here? Can I have permission to do that? And they want me there, but it also seems like I'm not kind of important enough yet as a creator to get like more special privileges. I was hoping to get the convention staff to allow me to shoot in the center of one of the main areas or like close to it. And I was told, and it makes sense, that they're very scared of blocking the path because of traffic, and then the building regulations don't let them do that. And I also asked about like having my ticket mailed to me to get into the con, and they couldn't do that, which kind of made me sad and annoyed, because last year when I tried coming into the convention, it turned into a bit of a ordeal. It was like 97 out last year, I believe, and at least in 97-degree heat to get inside. And eventually I got to the front and then got my con ticket. So I was worried about that happening again this year. And it happened again this year. And it sucked so bad. It pissed me off. But thankfully, that day when I came, I believe it was a Friday morning. So I was already missing the con. It was happening, burning time. By the time I came in, I was just exhausted. So this year, we decided it was a good idea to come in on Thursday. And thankfully, I had badge pickup on Thursday. So I didn't waste any official con time. But I was just done, guys. Like, I had to deal with a whole bunch of bad security who didn't care. I'm just kind of enjoying it. A few staff members who did not seem like they cared or were that enthused. But thankfully, there was one staff member, this guy who had really nice long hair, blonde, and he was a rock star for me. Oh my god, because he was one of the first people I ran into, and I was asking. I was like, I was polite as I can, like explaining the problem. He's like, oh, he wanted to help, and he took me to a few coworkers who did not care, and then we went to a few other places, and like they didn't care. So then he sent me to the main, thank you, baby, the main place. What is it called? In the Sheridan, where the staff was supposed to come, and thanks, and they didn't know what was happening. So after a good bit of time, a bunch of frustration, I ran into the first guy who helped me out, who said, you know what, we're going to go in. And I'm going to skip some more stuff because I don't want to get people in trouble. But I will say the people who are wearing the red jackets, who were, from what I'm told, hired by the con as security, to like they weren't official convention center security, they were private security hired by the con. Those guys in red shirts were the worst part of the convention for me, because at every step of the way they did not care. Not only didn't they care, they seemed to delight in just kind of like saying no to people, being rude to people, being standoffish, and is towing the line to as much of a jerk as they could. And it was frustrating for me. It was frustrating for some of the con staff who was dealing with them. That wonderful gentleman with the long hair they were treating him like a nobody. Like, no, you have to wait in line and go through all these, like, but I'm con staff. I'm supposed to be running back and forth. It was really, really bad. And eventually I got to the station, got my press pass, and I went to the front door to speak to the guy, and I'm cutting out some things, but I went to the front door to speak to the guy who sent me all around, and I said, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to let you know that we just spoke like an hour ago as I was trying to like get in, and you said I had to go around. I just came from the office here, and I just want to let you know that's incorrect. If there's any more press coming in, you have to let them in here to go a minute walk to the badge station here. And his response was basically, fuck you. Fuck you, and I'm gonna do what my supervisor told me. I don't care what you said. I don't care what anyone else says besides my supervisor. And at that point, I'm like, whatever. I'm not gonna get into any fights. And he was trying to kind of like needle, and it was just like, but got my pass. Unfortunately, Thursday was a bit of a letdown for me because I did ask to be. I wanted to interview a bunch of staff before the con happened, and although I know that was really hard to do because a lot of staffs, you know, they're herding the cats, they're getting ready. So Thursday was an ideal for me, but it didn't just work. It just didn't work out this year. But I got to see, and a lot of the space was closed, and I wanted to be with my press access to be treated like an exhibitor, where I can go to the areas where, how do I say this? I wanted to tour the con space before people got there, and I wasn't allowed to, and I had to just pretty much wait with everyone else, which is fine. But there wasn't much around that I wanted to check out. I was hoping to get interviews done day 0, but did not work out. Anyway. So I just kind of jumped the story here, but let me look at chat real quick. Missed running into you at Otakon. Wire Secret wasn't at Otakon. Dude, you missed out. It was awesome. I can see you here. Awesome. I know about being exhausted. Yeah, that post-convention ache, it gets better. I know. So half your apartment. Yeah, half my apartment is in decent temperature. Half sucks for me. It's all fun to agree that weather sucked. Yeah, that weather was not good this weekend. Me and the missus saw the sat wrapped around the building. Saw the line. Yeah, I'm guessing the Saturday stuff. That's a conversation right there. One guy in red wasn't bad at all. He was the guy standing at the main door going in. That guy was the one who was my big problem, because I'm pretty sure it's the same guy who was there all weekend, and I hope he gets fired. When we get to leaving on Sunday, he was thanking everyone for showing up. Yeah, his attitude changed over the weekend. I think he got a talking to by several staff members and some other people. But yeah, I think it was the same guy. Older gentleman. Older black guy. Had like these really garish glasses on. Yeah, fuck that guy. Anyway, so I'm skipping a few steps here. So before the con, it was interesting. Let's open some stuff up. As Nardio said, it was in the 90s, like high 90s on Thursday through Sunday, and I was lucky enough this year to book an Amtrak Acela to get in, and that was a godsend because they let you pick your seating coming and going. It's pricey as all hell, but it was worth it. I think the first time we went to Otakon, we flew, and I hated the experience. I'm not a flyer, and it just I don't know. It's somewhat quick, but then the time you spend in TSA and or like the time you spend checking, going and going, coming and going, and then the cab, getting your cab and going home, it loses it's not as good. I remember it took us a good while to like get home, like 2+ hours or something like that. It felt like when we came back from Otakon. So taking the train is totally worth it. Last year I took the Amtrak. I think I had like a regular Amtrak car and seat, and that was fine. I had no one next to me both ways, which was glorious. This year, Jazz got me an Acela going over there, which was supposed to be much faster, and it was. And the legroom was glorious. It was, the legroom was okay going because I didn't really appreciate it. And I was kind of sad because the Acela car I had going and coming was not as advanced as the Amtrak car I had going and coming last year, even though this one was more money. And I had no USB ports to charge things. Everything was kind of older looking. But on the way back, when my legs and body hurt like crazy, all of a sudden I looked into my seat and it was spacious. Like maybe the car coming back, I had a much better seat than the one going, but I was able to stretch out totally my legs. The minute I sat down, I just reclined my chair. Thankfully, no one tried to start anything with me, and I was just. It felt so good getting that giant book bag off and stretching at the end of the day. And if I go to Otakon again, and I would like to, I will definitely take the Acela going and coming, and just if I can afford it, the business class too, because that was wonderful. I'm super curious about what first class is like. I am very, very curious, and if I could afford it, I would like to take that next time, just at least on the way back when I'm tired, because there's something to be said for having a nice, clean lounge to rest in. The Washington Station train station kind of was like the New York City train station, where it's full of crackheads, drug addicts, and a bunch of criminals looking to rob people, which is like, I can't relax there. I'm on edge, always ready to like defend myself or get into a fight. And there were a few points some dudes were just like, yo, let me carry your bag. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So I was already tense, like, oh god, my back hurts, I'm carrying all this, oh god, my legs hurt, and I get to the station, I'm dealing with all these savages, and it's just like, that sucked. And then I'm scared of getting bed bugs, so I didn't want to sit in any of the seats in the train station, because in every section there was like 3 homeless people or some people shooting up, or it did not look like a clean place for me to sit down and not catch something or bring something home. So I got to the Amtrak station at 5, and from 5 p.m. to 7, let's say 15 when I left, I was just standing or walking the entire time, because it just felt too gross to sit down, and I wanted to sit down so bad. So that was the only downside of the Acela and Amtrak experience, is that their station, there's nothing they could do about it because they stopped enforcing their laws in DC and New York. But like the DC place in particular was very depressing. I think it was especially depressing because for this trip I actually got to experience some of the grandeur of Washington DC, and the station itself is super beautiful. And so to see this main travel hub used by like hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of people a year, to be in such a decayed state because of either lack of funding or just letting criminals take over, kind of broke my heart a little bit, like, and kind of depressed me. Like, we can do better as a society, but here we are just like that. Okay, I'm gonna get over the negative stuff there. When I first got to Otakon, this was the very first weeb that I saw. I only saw her back. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna snap this like little incognito photo. And when I saw the staff, I'm like, oh my god, it's one of the cosplayers. And I didn't say anything. I just thought this was very precious, because this was the first person I saw on the way over there who had any cosplay things like. And seeing this woman got me excited for the con. It's like, we're almost here. It's con weekend and all that, and I was so happy. So I got into DC around 11 a.m. noonish, something like that, maybe. And I had early. Otakon started their badge pickup at 3, and then my hotel per check-in was at 4. I don't know why why I booked my time the way I did. I think it was the most affordable time. So I had to burn time in Washington, and directly across the street from the convention center, something called the U.S. Postal Museum. And dude, I loved it. I loved it so much. It was a museum dedicated to the mail and the mail carriers, and it was so cool. I don't know about you guys, but I am nerdy and loving all this sort of stuff. Huge, proud American, proud of like all the wonderful history we have, seeing all the innovation we've done as a country, and having museum dedicated things as what seemingly is small as mail delivery, but mail delivery is a big deal. It helped our country grow. It helped our citizens thrive. It helped communities. The mail system grew along with the union when we started, and helped us conquer the country. And it's amazing to see the growth. And it had its pictures and videos, and you have like it shows antique mail carrying things. It explains how the system evolved, and I was nerding out and loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then in stark contrast to the filthy, decrepit place that was Union Station, it was clean. The air was wonderful. It was wonderfully cool. So as a place to like kind of de-stress and walk around, this was a great first thing. And the best thing is it's free. You could just walk in, you put your stuff through a scanner. Thankfully no one had to check my butt. It was just you just put your bags in, get scanned, and walk in. And you have a clean bathroom to use. They have water fountains. I don't trust water fountains, but they're there if you do. You can relax here. There's plenty of seating. It's quiet, and the staff are super friendly. And I immediately called everyone I could and started saying, "Hey, we got to come. You got to come with me to DC, or you got to go to DC and experience all this cheap stuff." And when I called Jazz, she told me like all the museums, for the most part, all the museums in DC are free. They're not all. There's a whole bunch where you have to pay something. And as broke as I am, I can't. Plus, I wanted to rush to the con as fast as possible. But it was like 97 on Thursday, and I cooled down here for a little while, and I had the stupid idea in me to go check out some other museums. And yeah, so I decided. I'm getting sick. My throat hurts, my chest hurts, my throat's raspy, so I should slow down and drink some tea with honey, which is totally gonna keep me up tonight, because when I start feeling sick, I drink black tea and doused with a whole bunch of honey, and it helps me feel better, but it also keeps me wired. So this is gonna suck this week. So it's 90 something degrees outside, and I decide I want to go check out some museums. And on the map, it doesn't seem that far away. It was only like 2 miles to the museum, and it didn't even seem like 2 miles to me when I looked at the map. It looked like something I can do quickly. If you don't know, Jazz and we walk all the time. We could easily walk like 12, 15 miles in a day, and we both speed walk because we're New Yorkers. So covering distances isn't a bad thing. And I was like hemming and hawing. Dude, it's really hot though. Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I not? And then I'm like, but if I take an Uber to the museum, that's $20. It's like $18 to $22. Like, let me save money. So I go outside and I start walking over there, and then there was this sight ahead of me that pretty much captured DC for me. The grandeur, the history of America, of Washington, of our nation. And then some homeless guy just like stoned out or whatever in the front there. I'm like, God damn it. It's really upsetting to me, like seeing that in the nation's capital. You would think we could have a place to put these people where they can go to. But at the same time, if you, not to get too negative, if you have experience dealing with communities like this, a lot of them don't want help. So having them in places like this bothers me greatly. And I saw a lot more of this as I was walking through, but thankfully, besides like seeing a bunch of people strung out along the way, everything was well maintained. The grass was for the most part taken care of. The monuments were thankfully not defaced, and I got to stop at a few of these places and take it in. Like, holy crap, I'm in the nation's capital. I've been in this country for decades, and I've never been to Washington, D.C., so maybe to see this in person was kind of surreal and awesome, and kind of made me go like, yeah, America! So if any of you are like part of the new generation who doesn't like our country, fuck you. You probably don't want to follow my channel. But I was very happy to start this little process. So I started walking toward this museum, and it was really cool and awesome. And then the clouds started parting and the sun started beating down on me. And I immediately regretted life and my decisions, because I went from, okay, this isn't that bad. I can walk there. It's not so bad. To just like, oh, like my sweat started going into my eyes and burning my book bag. Just, I felt the wetness take over. And I didn't make it to the Natural History Museum. I first stopped at the Museum of Art, which was beautiful, beautiful. And let's see, which one is this one? The National Gallery of Art. It was wonderful. Although I will say, there's a lot of steps getting there. And by the time I got to this point, I felt like I might pass out from the heat and carrying things. And I was a sweaty, gross, unhappy mess. And I think I was at the halfway point of getting to the other museum. So I stopped in here to cool down, and the guard pulled me to the side, because if you had a book bag, a big one, you had to check it. And when I came in, one of the guards pulls me to the side, and then some other person comes in who just stank of weed. So the guard thought that was me. And I'm like, sir, do you have any marijuana on you? I'm like, what? He's like, that marijuana. I'm like, I didn't get it until the waft hit me. I'm like, no, I have no drugs on me. I give you permission to search me. I am just dying. Do you mind if I just get on my knees real quick? And I kind of just like sunk to the floor and like was like pantsing and out of it. And then he took me to the baggage area, and I pull off what was a light book bag that then felt like 80 pounds. And as I grab my straps and squeeze, the liquid just started coming down my hand, because I was sweating so much, so fast. My book bag absorbed it all. So I take this wet book bag off, put it at the counter, and I explore this museum, and it was beautiful. Oh, it was just, wow. It wasn't very busy at all, and the art ranged from, like, for me, amazing to meh. But I'm very picky with my art, and they had a bunch of just magnificent pieces like this. I love oil paintings. I love still life of landscape and flowers and this sort of thing. I am a huge fan of this. And I was just like in love. It was so beautiful to me. And it was a good place to de-stress and walk around. And I just spent like, I don't know, 20 minutes in there till I felt human enough to like try to go back out there. And I braved the hike. Actually, before I show this, I want to show something that kind of, do I have pictures of this? Okay, so no. So then I walked all the way to the Museum of Natural History. And I'm greeted with what felt like I walked into, how do I even describe it? One of the smoggiest things I've inhaled in my life. And I'm from New York City. In front of the museum was a poop ton of idling tourist not trucks, buses, and then a whole bunch of ice cream things out there trying to pawn off ice cream. And these guys, everyone had their engine idling like crazy. And it was super scammy, because none of these fuckers had any prices on here. And one of the guys, I'm like, how much for like a slushy? He's like, how much you want to pay? I'm like, all right, I'm gone. And I asked two others, and one was like $20 a slushy, and one was like 15. I'm like, fuck both of you. But it already upset me. There was this big, these guys were lined up here. I really wish there was a way to stop this, because this entire area reeked of exhaust fumes from a car, and it made me really sad, because one, I have bad asthma, and two, is like, I feel like it's detracting from the experience. It was beautiful out, but visually it was beautiful out. It was gross, but it was just like, we're at this sacred, I don't know how to describe it, but this really great place, and these guys are kind of ruining the atmosphere for me. And then there was a whole bunch of guys out there selling like waters, CDs, all that scammy tourist shit. Well, the waters aren't really a scam, but like the CDs and some other BS they were trying to hawk. I'm like, oh god, we have jerks like that in New York City who do that. So seeing it here just made me sad. Like, oh my god, this garbage is everywhere. But made it into the Museum of Natural History, and it was really interesting for me because, how do I say this? Is it? Where is it? Do I have it here. Here it is. A lot of it reminded me of the Museum of Natural History in New York, except a lot a lot smaller than the one in New York in some aspects, and it was a lot cleaner. I hate the museum. I love the Museum of Natural History in New York City, and I also hate it because it's in disrepair. If you go into New York and you see a place, it's just like you see water stains from like constant leaks in the ceiling and from pipes. There's mold growth. It's dusty and dirty. It's very depressing. The Washington D.C. one was gorgeous and clean, which is very small, which is surprising. And that place was packed full of tourists and a whole bunch of stanky tourists. Ugh. So I just wanted to experience it for a few minutes and get the F out so I can just go to get my badge pickup. But this was one cool shot I thought was sensational. Like, I'm on the second floor here, you could say, but on this side. And I saw this giant shark hanging over the food court. I'm like, ooh. That was really cool. And once again, I was calling Jazz and everyone I know to, like, you guys got to come with me to DC. I would love to do a big group trip to DC and, like, just explore and go to all the museums we can and geek out. I love learning, so having all this history here, having all this stuff here makes me happy. I saw an ad for the Museum of Drug Use in America or something like that. It was done by I think, was it the DEA? Some branch of the government had a museum about like the history of drugs in America. And I'm like, ooh. The criminal justice major in me was just like freaking out because I love learning this sort of stuff. Oh, we have a whole bunch of chat that I missed. Sorry, guys. All right, we got some chat. Sorry, guys, I am like in chatty chat mode. Let's see what I'm happening here. Okay, you guys talking about Otakon. You had a great time. Nardio, great. Square Enix team showed up with Final Fantasy photo shoot. Oh, that's nice. I missed that. Yeah, I didn't check out a lot of the panels because I'm torn for the conventions because part of me wants to geek out and go to a bunch of panels, but a lot of the panels that are there, I don't know how to cover in a way that does the panel justice or that I feel like is worth the time for my viewers. I'm not going to say which one, but there was an anime, I believe it was an anime publishing company that was there when our first year at Otakon in 2019, and Jazz went to interview them. And it was one of those things where they had a Japanese translator for the people who were there. And Jazz and a bunch of people had questions, and Jazz is half Japanese, so she could kind of understand most of what's happening there, but she never lets on that she speaks it. And when people were asking questions, the translator wasn't giving, for a lot of the time, wasn't giving the exact question, or even close to the question sometimes. And the responses that we were getting, sometimes it didn't match up with what the person said. So maybe the translator was just trying not to cause problems, or I don't know why. But at the end of the day, Jazz is like, it was a waste of time. So ever since then, it just doesn't make sense for me to like interview. I think this year they had Studio Trigger on and a few other people, and I don't really know what to ask them. And since I don't understand Japanese, I don't even know if I'm going to get like good answers. So there's a lot of panels that kind of seemed interesting, but I didn't know how to do. And I'm there to interview cosplayers. I treat every convention like I'm going to work, and I have one specific task and task alone, and that is just to find talented cosplayers and interview them. And it kind of sucks in one way because while everyone's playing at the con, I'm working and I'm just doing one thing. Granted, I love it. I love talking to talented cosplayers, meeting new people, and taking the photos, getting the interviews, and hearing these stories. It makes me feel great. But on the other hand, I know I'm missing all this other stuff. And then when the lighting goes at the end of the day and all these parties are happening and all this stuff's going on, oftentimes I'm exhausted by that, and I have to go, like, I feel like I have to rest because I have 3 days of this at least. And then sometimes I don't know anyone there, like I don't have friends in the area. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of lonely. And then it's like, I don't know what to do. Like I just kind of meander about by myself, go to the hotel and decompress. I'm always okay in the hotel because I'm okay with being alone, and I'm okay with like de-stressing. And oftentimes I'm like, oh, I want to hang out with people, but then when I get to my room, I'm like, Ah, yes, peace, quiet. Ah, I got a bed and I'm happy. But there's so many cool things that happens at cons, and I wish I could experience more of it and hang with more people and do all these things. But I can't. I have to rip myself away. And oftentimes at cons, I meet some really great people. I'm like, oh my god, we could be friends, or like, I love talking with you. And sometimes I find myself talking with them for like a half hour or sometimes more, and I'm like, I'm having a genuinely amazing time doing this, but at the same time, I'm taking away from my work time and I'm not getting stuff done. In a half hour, I can get like 4 to 5 other interviews done at least. Oh, maybe like, yeah, you could say 4 to 5 interviews done. Maybe like, okay, we can get a few interviews done and a bunch of photo shoots, and every minute I'm canoodling and chit chat. I don't know if canoodling is the word. If every minute I'm chit chatting with somebody else is time taken away from why I'm there. So I don't really get to enjoy the con or experience it, the people as much as I would like. And every con, almost every con, I make some new kind of friends or friends, and I can't really get to enjoy that friendship or time with them as much as I'd like. And I always feel bad. And then like sometimes like this con, I've had several people who wanted to meet up with me, but I couldn't because I was just constantly on the hunt for cosplayers. And yeah. All right. So let's finish going through this. Actually, like, let's finish going through some chat here. Okay, you guys are talking nights and all this. Cool. All right. So you guys are talking 40K stuff, and Jay's here. We got a bunch of regulars. Hi guys. Hope you're all doing great. So end up going back to the hotel room after this museum stuff, and I am drenched in sweat. I immediately go take a shower, and when I go to the hotel room, I'm greeted with the air's kind of funky in there. The bed is like dead. The bed should have been thrown out ages ago, and my hotel experience wasn't great. But I tried to crank the AC as low as I could, took a shower, changed clothes, relaxed for a while, because I wanted to rush immediately to the con at 3 o'clock to get my tickets, my badge, and then start interviewing people. But I was so exhausted and I felt so gross. I thought it was a better use of time for me to like shower, rest, and chill in a hotel. And I ended up going to the convention about like 5:15. And I'm so happy that I did, because at that point it started cooling down already and some clouds came in. I'm so glad I did not go try to get my badge at 3 o'clock on the dot, because I would have dealt with that same jerk at the entrance and spent like the next hour and during the hottest part of the day walking around. And I can't imagine how much more frustrated I would have been if I was carrying my book bag, I was covered in sweat, and then I was getting the runaround from like the jerks who were working there and a few idiots. So it worked out. Everything worked out first day. And so that was like first day. And eventually, since there was nothing happening on Thursday, I decided to just relax and enjoy the con, like enjoy the night. I meandered about a bit. I was disappointed I couldn't really get any Thursday interviews, and I just went back to the hotel room and relaxed. Friday, first day of the con, was cool. It was cool. Anyways, let's show this press badge. This badge is adorable. It had like kind of like a little shiny, kind of almost metallic-y thing here. I don't have it next to me actually, but this press pass. Let me go into something real quick. I can do what I do for 99% of cons and not be official press, because there are a lot of people who try to do what I do, or do what I do where they go around interviewing cosplayers. 99% of them don't last doing this because you don't make any money on it. You don't really get views on it, and it's a weird thing to do. I think a lot of people try to get into this to try to make quick YouTube money, and they're not that into it. A lot of guys use it as a way to try to talk to the hot chicks, and you could look up cosplay interviews, and I think there's a tag, cosplay interview cringe. Oh god, these jerks make it so hard for me, because very often when I go to someone who's been cosplaying for a few years and say, hi, I'm Press, I'd like to do an interview with you, oftentimes they're very happy, like, ooh, Press and all that. A lot of the time they're also like, ugh, because there are so many creepers out there who are like, ooh, and they're overtly flirting and trying to put their arms around the women or ignoring the boyfriend or husband there, and they're just creeping on the girlfriends, and they make it hard for me because people are traumatized by the time they get to me. So anyway, having official press passes though gives me a level of clout that I wouldn't have if I didn't have a press patch. Like, you could do the same thing and not be press, but having official press from the con does help people drop their guard a bit, and it helps the process go smoother. And also, every year I have one of these, it's a bit of it's validation for me, because I kind of alluded to this with one of my YouTube posts, but I'm kind of insecure about this. Almost every con that happens before I go, I'm nervous. I'm almost internally horrified, because it's like, is anyone going to want to shoot with me? I feel like I feel like I'm not a part of the community in a way, and even though sometimes I do feel like a part of the community, but like I feel like the outsider imposter syndrome thing hit me, and I'm always nervous for conventions. But every time I get my press pass, it does help. It's like, ooh, I'm official. And it opens doors. People treat you different and better. There's sometimes I'd have some staff being snarky or jerky with me, and then they see the press pass, and they're like, oh, sorry, you're press. And all of a sudden the respect comes back in. And it's weird because, like, you shouldn't be an asshole to anyone besides people who are assholes. But there are, and we'll talk about this later, but there are some people who at con staff and some like convention staff and building staff who just like treating people badly, but when they see the press thing, they cut that shit right out. And for a second I'm like, good, and another second I'm like, but why? It didn't have to be this way. So it helps me a lot when dealing with people, for the most part. The next thing I'll show, a frustrating thing this weekend was, as I'm interviewing people, I started looking myself up on their devices for a few reasons. One, sometimes it gets me a quick follow. Two, I post good content. My cosplay photos that I share are damn good, and the interviews that I do are damn good, and they've been getting better every year. And by saying, hey, open your phone and look me up on YouTube and Instagram, immediately gets me like 50 points of respect with a lot of people, because when they open the Instagram and they see the quality pictures, they're like, oh wow, and you want to shoot me? And the same with the YouTube channel, because they open my YouTube channel, the first thing they see is Jeremy's interview in the Ultramarine cosplay that's got like 700 and sorry, almost 750,000 views, and then a bunch of others with tens of thousands of views. So it's like, oh, this is a real thing, and it helps. But, and this pisses me off and upsets me at one point, and sometimes I almost want to tear up because I'm so frustrated with this, I'm shadow banned. Check this out. And this actually happens, where this is what I put in Nardio, but sometimes even when I spell out the entire Instagram, I don't show up in some people's searches. I don't know why, because it's not everyone, but last year, I would say in about 80% of the searches for me, I couldn't find myself, and it pisses me off, and it hurts, and it's like, I do my best. I try my best to do good content. I don't put anything problematic up. I'm trying really hard with this, and I'm struggling to grow. I say, like a lot of people who are creators get reach, but and part of it's like lost in the sauce. There's a bajillion people doing this, but to be shadow banned, and I don't fucking know why, to have myself hidden for no reason. It's so frustrating. It's so freaking frustrating, and for a few people, I had to stop and look up other cosplayers that I shot to then click into their account to then find photos that I took of them to then click into my profile, and then boom, there's Nardio. And it hurts. It really, it frustrates me, and it hurts, and it bothers me so much. Because I'm trying. And I'm doing this because I care and I like it, and I like like this positive energy that I'm trying to put out. It helps me by doing all this, and I am being punished for no reason, and it frustrates me. And that happened a good bit this weekend, where I was just going through people's phones and I could not find myself on YouTube. I could not find myself on Instagram. And God, that pisses me off. Really pisses me off. Because, I'm trying. I'm really trying. But, sorry, it really bothers me, guys. It really, really bothers me. Because again, it's not like I'm putting anything political out. I'm not doing any hate content. It's not like I'm sharing any racist memes or anything. I'm doing everything right. But I have this boot to my back just like holding me down, and it's really frustrating, and it really hurts and pisses me off. Anyway, off that. Otakon proper, Friday. Beautiful day inside the convention. I had a crappy night of sleep because I can never... the first night at a con, or actually the week leading up to a con, I have the worst insomnia. And I had forced myself to get there as early as I could so I could just start banging out work. And I love this space. I love this venue. And first person I see when I come in is that jack off at the front door, and I'm just like, don't. I hope he doesn't fuck with me. Thankfully, he didn't bother me the rest of the weekend. But I got in. Everything worked out. Once I had my badge, it was fine. It was totally fine. I had almost no issues with staff. I had almost no issues with building security. I actually ran into official building security, and they were just precious and amazing and very... The official building security was a joy to talk to and work with. I mean, granted, whenever I speak to anyone in these sorts of positions, I go with the utmost respect, but I'll get into that later. But it was great, and I started running into a whole bunch of really, really great cosplayers, and I gave the con a big tour, like a speed walking tour, and I love this venue. If you guys haven't been to the Walter E. Washington Convention Center for anything, you're missing out. I'm hoping to start going to, I believe, Awesome Con. It's run by the same people who run Anime NYC, and it happens in this venue. And if I have any more reason to visit this venue and cover cons, I want to, because this place is amazing. It's so amazing. It's everything I wish the New York City Javits Center was. It's large, wonderfully lit, clean, great backgrounds. Like for some of you, this might not seem like a good background, but to a photographer like me, this is amazing. Like let's look here for a second. Okay, if you look at this side of the picture on your left, this is horrible. This is a horrible background because it's like full of people and noise. But if you look to the right, with creative angling, this is a wonderful shot because you shoot someone here. Sorry if this is shaking the camera. You shoot someone here, and you get almost like this infinite large building backdrop, clean, modern design look, and it's wonderful for backgrounds. And I have a f1.4 camera, lens, and I usually bring an 85mm 1.8. And backgrounds like this work great with cameras with f-stops that go that, I think, low or high, whatever. It's weird with the camera stuff. But anyway, it gives these wonderful background bokeh shots that are just sensational. And I can get so many quality, amazing images. My only heartbreaking thing is I can never get cosplayers to meet with me for shoots at an allotted time, so I gave up. I've been doing this since 2016, and I've had people who would like message me like, "Oh, Bernardo, oh Nardio, I love your shots. I'd love to do a shoot." And you look at their page, and they are god tier cosplayers, just like the pinnacle of human perfection of beauty, and they look like we would make amazing content together. Those fuckers never show up. And like, I swear to God, like 99% of everyone else doesn't show up whenever I schedule something. And it's also life and cons. I get it, but if I'm there to work, I can't really wait around for people. And I've been ghosted by so many people over the years that it pisses me off, and like also makes me feel bad, because it's like, how do I say this? There's no respect for my time. There's no respect for my work. There's no respect for me as a person when I am like, oh, I'll be there soon, or I'm here. Okay, I'll meet you here, but I'm not there now. I'm here. Just like, and then there's that voice inside of me, that little part that's, how do I say this? I'm not good enough. If I were bigger, if I were better, if I were more well known, if I was a bigger channel, they would be making time for me. Because you see a bunch of these cosplayers, they can make appointments for the cosplayer shoots, the photo shoots, what they pay for most of the time. They can make time for these cosplay photo shoot meetups. These people can make time, but I am not a priority yet because I'm not big enough yet. And that feeling of insecurity and bothers me whenever I get ghosted or this sort of thing happen. But I would love it to one day get big enough where people want to shoot with me, want to, like, really want to, where I have like my DMs blowing up, like, you know, request. That's, I know, fantasy, but it would be nice to get to that level where my con weekend has almost an Excel sheet of people who want to show up, who will show up because they're excited to shoot with Nardio and have their work out there, tell their story, have their cosplays featured. That's a goal dream of mine, besides income, obviously. But to just have that sort of like respect going on where I can have my weekend planned. Because see this area up here? This is the top level of the con, and it is freaking beautiful. And for most of the weekend, empty. So I could be getting some just glorious shots, just focusing on the person with nothing in the background besides beautiful windows or this wonderful bouquet of a carpet. And it's just like, I could be doing some banger content, and I can't, because it's hard getting people to say, hey, do you want to go all the way and spend the time going all the way to the top? And for some reason this weekend, there weren't many quality cosplays. And yes, I'm judgmental. There weren't many quality cosplays up here to do shoots with. And it kind of made me sad because I would love to push content out here. Or hopefully, the dream is I'll have hopefully people wait in line up to shoot an interview with us one day up here. That'd be crazy. Anyway, if this location is great, you should go. The convention space is, for the most part, perfect. It has problems, and we'll get into that, but it's great. Great, great, great. I love this con space. I love coming here every year. And so that's just one shot. Should I talk about this one yet? No, we'll go into other things first. So, actually, let me look at chat real quick. I'm neglecting you guys. I'm sorry. Mecha Tortuga, hi. How's it going? Okay, you awesome people are talking 40K. That's awesome. Stream chat, I'm not a very good cosplayer, whatever, don't worry about that, but I try to dress for every event I attend. Awesome. Thank you for the positive energy, Wario. I really do appreciate it. Nice lights, up angles, down angles, like the crowd, backdrop. Yeah, the backdrop there is gorgeous. Okay, so Wario just wrote a comment. Yeah, Jay, there's a vendor space. I'll get into that. You'll probably be very impressed with the vendor space. It's insane. So Wario left a comment. I would love to do a shoot, but I don't have money to finish or perfect any cosplays, which sucks. Here's the thing. I don't just shoot amazing cosplays. I shoot store-bought cosplays. I shoot closet cosplays if they're done well enough. Really, it's about you putting your best foot forward. So you can buy. Oh, I got the little fucker. Yeah. You can buy a store-bought cosplay on whatever website. I'm not gonna make a joke. You could buy a store-bought cosplay and wear it to a con. But it's up to you to make sure it fits you well. And the big, big, big thing there is iron it. Fucking iron it. It, like, for the 99% of the time, I'll avoid people in, like, cheap cosplays. Not because it's a cheap, I can tell cosplay, but because they didn't take that extra step, that little extra step of ironing it. And you can tell if an outfit is just pulled out of a bag and put on. You look like shit when you do that. And I had this conversation with so many older cosplayers, because a lot of younger cosplayers have this thing where I'm gonna get famous, I'm gonna go to a con, I'll wear like 12 cosplays, and like I'll have this whole series of things, and they might have 12 great cosplays, but then these idiots shoot themselves in the foot and they don't do the basic things like, does this fit me properly? Is it ironed? Is it hanging on me properly? Can I walk in this and not sweat? They wear the cosplay first time at the con. Maybe they might have done a try-on session before, but they don't really know how to wear it. And think about what men in suits. There's the kid out of college wearing a suit, and then there's a man wearing a suit. And there are plenty of kids out of college who wear a suit and were taught properly. This is how you tie a tie. This is a fitted suit. This is how you tuck in your shirt. Close your damn jacket. Have everything fitted properly. You can do this affordably. You can learn yourself how to do this. And if you want to you could turn a cheap AliExpress cosplay into a nice looking cosplay by fitting it yourself. And if you're chubby, wear a cosplay that shapes, that hides, or that works with your thing. But don't buy something that doesn't fit your body type or make you look good. You need to this hits for every aspect in life. Put your best foot forward and people will notice. I've seen people in AliExpress cosplays that look good, and I've seen people in AliExpress cosplays that look bad. There were plenty of cosplayers this weekend wearing cheap Genshin Impact cosplays, and they ran the gamut. Some people looked like it fitted them perfectly. Others looked like a goddamn hot mess. And you can make a cheap cosplay look good. You can make a cheap closet cosplay look good. And I've interviewed quite a few people who've done closet cosplays that look sensational, or people who made their own cosplays out of cheap materials who look sensational. So sorry for the rant, but Wario, I think what you should do is look for a cosplay you can either closet cos or affordably get, and then do your best to try to improve it once you get there. So let's say you buy something, really measure yourself, and then measure yourself after eating, so you know when that gut sticks out a little bit. You could eat and not have the thing bursting at the seams, and you could comfortably walk. And find out what fits you, and then order something that will fit the size. You can look up, there's tons of information out there showing you how to buy larger so you could like slim it down and try to make it work. And then there's gonna be a lot of these cosplays that when you get them, like, this looks janky, that looks janky. There's a bajillion interviews YouTube videos on how to improve, like, turn crappy store-bought cosplays into amazing store-bought cosplays. And I'm sure you can have people begging for shots in interviews, but you have to put the effort in. And if you do, it's a rewarding experience because you get praised that much more. Fat Thor will work like a charm for you. All right, well, look for a Fat Thor costume that would work for you. Serious. Find a good one, and you can do it. And or use this. There have been plenty of people who I've interviewed over the years who lost a lot of weight just for cosplay. Like, they used it as a motivation. I mean, hell, even me going to cons again, I'm like, all right, I gotta eat. I say that, and there's pizza next to me. I have to eat. I haven't eaten dinner yet. It's 10:30. Jesus. But start eating better. Start planning. If you wanna not be Fat Thor anymore, you got motivation. Like, I would love to cosplay regular Thor. Adjust your diet, work out. You could do it. All right. Also, you just reminded me I gotta crack this thing and eat something. So today I planned on having we're planning on eating food in the house and doing everything right. But when Jazz came home from work, the exhaustion hit me. And I'm like, baby, please, let's nap. So we just cuddled together and napped for, I don't know, like 2 hours. And I think we woke up around like 9:30. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta set my stream. So she ordered some delivery and I ordered some pizza. So that's why I'm eating bad, although I'm preaching. But yeah, my throat hurts. I feel sick as hell. But I kind of I've been wanting to do this for years, where I could just like do a quick off the cup. Hey, let's chat. let's go through and talk about the con. But for a while, I wasn't really streaming, and now that I'm streaming, we have this wonderful little community here. It's like I got people to talk to, like I got people to talk to and share these things. 1 second, Mark, Nardio, you've been to Wisconsin, very nice art museums. I think you were talking to me about Wisconsin before, and I was like very curious. And then I think recently I was looking at some cons in Wisconsin. I'm pretty sure it was Wisconsin, and I was curious about going. My issue is I can't afford it. I mean, if I could find it affordably, I would love to. We'll see. I would love to travel the country, go on a convention. That's like a huge dream of mine. And then like the other thing is like you were saying, the museums and all that. The part if I could, let's say Bernardo hit the lottery, I would love to go and spend a week at every location so I could check out the town history, go to museums, maybe interview some town folk, maybe have some time before or after the con to interview the staff, whoever's running it. Because conventions they're not just a cosplay event. They're not just by the runners. For a lot of places, conventions hit the community. And there are a lot of local politicians who have a hand in making sure it works. There are a lot of people who are involved because these things bring a lot of money to the local communities. It would just be nice to explore America. I mean, heck, even the world. And like, oh, okay, I'm in Wisconsin for a week. Let's go check this out. Let's go check this out. Let's go check this out. The con's happening. Okay, we're in out for a couple days after. Let's check this out. And then comfortably go home. I needed that. I need to eat. All right, so the convention overall, it was a great weekend. Overall, it was. I got plenty of content out of it, but I am disappointed in myself because I wanted to do more. I set myself some unbelievably lofty expectations. Last year at Otakon, I had, I believe, 54 interviews. Think about that, 54 interviews. In, I think, just Friday and Saturday. I busted my ass. And there were so many people around. Unfortunately, this year I only got 34 interviews. No, 36 interviews. That's still a lot. I mean, if you think about it, in my current way of pushing out content with one cosplay interview a month, I have years worth of content. And that's actually part of the plan because I want to... I kind of want to have a backlog just in case I get sick one summer. What if I broke my leg or something this summer and I had just missed some conventions? I'm screwed if I've used all my content up or something bad happens. I want cushion. I also want to be. I also feel better when I have a bunch of videos already uploaded. You get what I'm saying? But so I have plenty of content like still in the backlog, and I have plenty more. But I don't know, guys. I really wanted to knock it out the park and maybe get like 30 interviews on Friday, 50 on Saturday, another 20 or 30 on Sunday. That was the goal. That was like, yeah, we're going to make it work. We're going to get it done. But I didn't have such good luck. Oh, my God. I don't know why. Actually, I kind of have a few reasons. But where I am in the convention center, let's go to another page here. They're just... Whoa, no. Okay, there just wasn't that many people out there. Let's, do I have any of those shots? I don't have any of those shots. Let's go here. For some reason, a lot of this is going to sound jerkish, but I'm being honest, a lot of the quality cosplayers were not around. They just were not around. I can't show you that one. Oh, crap. Well, there's no nipple showing. Okay, so a lot of the quality cosplayers, like the really, really good ones, were not in the convention center. They were out and about. So there's a convention center, and then there's the attached Sheraton Hotel. So the Sheraton Hotel is where a lot of the high-end, they live the cosplay life, cosplayers go and stay. Because in the lobby, it's this beautiful-ish, it's okay, excuse me, marble-colored light space where a bunch of cosplayers go and have their photos taken. There's a whole bunch of photographers. Some good, a lot of garbage. Photographers hang out in the Sheraton. So there's a lot of people who go to Otakon who seemingly never even go to Otakon. They spend the entire weekend in the lobby of the Sheraton getting shots done. And it's heartbreaking because these are some of the most talented cosplayers. Some of. I'm not disparaging the ones who go there. I'm not saying they're the only good ones. But a lot of the crazy, beautiful ones just spend the weekend there. And my first year at Otakon, that still happened, but a bunch of them meandered into the con space where I like to shoot. So this is a family I shot there. This area over here where I'm hovering the mouse, that's where I hang out, because that, as you can see, has great space. It's a large space, and it's the entrance, the main entrance to the con. There weren't that many like cosplayers worth interviewing there, and then a lot of the really nice ones that were there were babies. And I don't like interviewing minors at cons because they're minors, and I think I am legally able to share the interviews with them. And I've befriended a bunch of these cosplayers. I mean, I remember I met some kids at my first con who were both 16 and in high school. And I didn't know that because the con was at like Stevens College, and I interviewed a bunch of cosplayers. And these kids that I shot, I thought were college students because, you know, once you get old enough, college students look like babies. Like until 22, 23, a lot of people look like kids. So I interviewed them later on. I found out, oh yeah, we're just 16. I'm like, what? And I'm friends with them from 2016 till now. So I've got to watch these kids grow up, kinda. But I just don't like leaving content up from cosplayers who were babies. So I try not to interview them it's always weird because sometimes I talk to people and they have the adult voice. Some guys have maybe they're faking it, but they have the adult voice, they have the adult look, they have the jawline and everything. And they're like, yeah, man, it's like my second year in high school. I'm like, holy shit, your second year of high school? You look like a damn man. And the same thing happens with a lot of the women. They're, and it's frustrating because I just don't feel comfortable. And I mean, I normally don't shoot cosplayers that are doing the TNA stuff because a lot of younger people do that. And I don't want to be a part of them fucking up their life by sharing images they shouldn't on social media. I remember with those younger, let's say this one set of like kids that I met when they were 16. I think like a year later, they tell me, hey, one of them reaches out to me, hey, we're doing an Overwatch bunny suit cosplay meetup. Will you shoot it for us? I was telling my group I want you to be the main photographer. And at first I'm like, God damn it. You girls are like 17. The fuck are you doing a bunny shoot cosplay meetup? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I will shoot it. So I went into this room full of teens, and there are a bunch of adults, which I find very weird. A lot of adults encourage a lot of younger people to cosplay in sexy outfits, and I think that's all sorts of fucked up. But I went, I shot them, I let them do the poses they want, and this one's pure friendship because those kids are great. Now they're adults, what I'm saying, kids, but you know, they were great, and in a way to protect them, I shot them, and I did everything, and I got to shoot. And there were a few people I know there who are in their 20s. But for the most, for everyone, for the ones I knew, for after the shoot, I deleted all of the images. Except for those few people who I knew who were in their 20s. Like, here, you can have your photos. But the kids? Hell no. I wasn't going to let them put those photos of themselves on the internet. No. What happened? Oh, my SD card messed up. I know it's kind of jerkish, but it's also, I think, the right thing to do to make sure, because I know so many creepy ass guy photographers who would have been all up in trying to get those ass shots, those cleavage shots. Ugh. So to make sure the kids didn't have those photos out there, I did the shoot. I wasted like an hour on a Saturday, I think, but thankfully those images are gone. And then years later, one of them reached out like, hey Bernard, do you still have those bunny shoot images? Like, I actually know I deleted them. I didn't want those guys having them out there. And she responded, oh, thank God. Like, yeah, I knew you were gonna regret this. So yeah, I try to avoid that. Anyway. So at the con, I'll find some more shots of this space because it's a beautiful space. Okay, so this is part of the entrance area. Like you'll see there, like it's a big backdrop. It's a huge spot. People are walking back and forth, but there weren't that many great cosplays there. This is a side offshoot area, and it was really frustrating because, oh, my first year that I went, there was like I was just swamped with Jazz. It also helped because like Jazz was with me. She had to stay home last second this trip. Usually she comes with me, but without Jazz there, what happened was I would interview people and Jazz would bring new people and bring new people. And we're like a team, and we were able to just like get cosplayers. There were so many bangers that I would just get cosplayers myself, and I was just getting so much wonderful content. I still have an amazing amount of content for Otakon 2019. Otakon 2023, not so much content because I went solo and there were slightly less people that were per se worth shooting in that main space I was in and around it. And then this year there was a lot less. Oh my god. And I really don't like, how do I say this? I don't like shooting people I'm not that enthused about. Because I'm a great liar, but I don't like lying. And I don't really want to look at the camera like, oh my god, this is an amazing cosplay. How did you do that? Oh, I didn't know that the wig is half tilted, the thing's ill-fitting, and it's just like, and then I feel like once I start doing that, I said I feel like I gotta stop that. But I know once I start doing that, I start releasing subpar content regularly on the channel, you will lose trust in me and what I bring you. You, I think, will lose interest in what I'm putting out because, well, he's not really interviewing great cosplayers that are worth an interview. And I know that sounds judgmental or whatever, but fuck it, it's true. That said, I still like interviewing people who, I don't know how to say it. Sometimes there are people who have a cosplay and it doesn't look amazing. It's they're I'll get into this more later, but sometimes I like interviewing people who like they're fine, or I feel like a connection with them as I chit chat. Like, I'm gonna interview you because you seem good. You seem like a nice person, and I'll talk about it now. Oftentimes at these conventions, and this breaks my heart. Oftentimes at these conventions, you'll have people who are dressed in either meh cosplays, nice cosplays, sometimes amazing cosplays, sitting in a fucking corner. And they're sitting in a corner like the entire weekend. Or they're on their DS, or they're on their phone. And I see these people. And I feel for them. Because, how do I say this? They're trying. They want to be noticed. But they're not ready yet. Or they're not trying hard enough. They're not doing it right, in my opinion. They're nervous to put themselves out there. Like they put in the effort. They got the cosplay together. They came to a con, but they're meek. I see some people dressed really nicely, but they're walking with their head down, or they're in the corner on their DS or something, or on their phone or something. It's not like I've just seen them there for a minute. I've seen them there for hours sometimes, and sometimes it's just like I get the feeling they want to be noticed. And if the cosplay looks good, or for some reason I have some I feel like it, I just reach out to them. I'm like, yo, can I have some shots? And it's crazy because sometimes like they get up and the cosplay is god tier, and they're gorgeous, or they're everything I want in a cosplay interview. But they were all shirked down, looking down in a corner, a Nintendo Switch in front of them, and they're hiding themselves. They're hiding their true beauty, or they're walking around. They're like, there's some people who like. God bless them. Sometimes it can be annoying, but sometimes there are people who are like, they kind of stand in my orbit and kind of fidget around, like they want to be noticed, but they're too shy to make that effort. And as long as they're not being jerks about it, I try to give them time. Like, okay, depending on how they look and how they are, because sometimes people do that, and I'm sorry, but you're a freaking mess. Like, they have crumbs on their face, they have stains in their cosplay, and for those people, sometimes I will like probably take a few shots, and maybe I'll share some shots if they look good. But I also don't want to share an image of this person if they look like a mess. Excuse me. Because sometimes people, I tell people sometimes, like, hey, you have crumbs all over your face, you have these things, you probably want to clean that up first. And they're like, oh, I don't care. It's like, Well, if you don't care how you look, I don't care to shoot you. Or if they're just a bit off, or they're just they don't look their best, and I feel like it's kind of messed up to share somebody's images when they I don't know, bad teeth, like, or how to say, not bad teeth, stained shirts, and like, well, this is all I have. Like, sometimes I can get to edits and clean things up, sometimes I can't. Like, if there's somebody who's doing this, and let's say he has some extra weight on him, and his cosplay is 2 sizes too small, I'm not gonna share that image. Why? Because when you're overweight, and I know this, and you see pictures of yourself, and your shirt can't hold your gut in, or you look pregnant, or you look like you got man titties, having an image like that on the internet, it sucks. And I know this because I'm in 4K, and if you go through my videos, you see me like gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, pizza face, not pizza face, sweaty and all that. Like, sometimes I've scrapped interviews because I'm like, oh my god, I look like a mess. But like, I feel like it's bad to share an image of someone wearing something that makes them look worse than they look. Like, some of these people would be fine if they just had an outfit that fit them. There are plenty of guys who are tubby who wear Zhongli cosplays, for instance, from Genshin Impact. I think that's a good cosplay for heavier guys to wear, because anything with a blazer can help you form fit. But guys will do that who don't put in the proper effort to do it, and they wear something for a much skinnier person, and next thing you know, they can't even close the undershirt under the blazer because their belly's sticking out. And I don't want to share that image because I just feel like it'll make them feel bad. It's not them at their best, and it's just embarrassing to have something like that on the internet. I think once or twice I've done it, and I've had people like, "Can you take that down?" I'm like, "Yeah, I wasn't too sure about putting it up anyway." So there's that. But yeah, sorry if I'm going into a bit of a rant here, but I do like looking for great cosplayers or unique. Like this woman, she's, super unique outfit. Crazy design. It's based off some Japanese band member. That's a different person. Very unique, and she just caught my eye, and I was just like, wow, I love this sort of I love this sort of look. So seeing this in person at the con, I don't know how this poor woman did this, because she's wearing it was hot as heck also in this area. It's probably didn't help people staying to hang around, but to wear all this in the heat that was the con with all the sunlight coming in, and she still looked great. It was amazing. Let me skip through this. There's this guy here. So yeah, this floor space, there weren't that many people. There's a lot of people in just casual clothes, a lot of kids, and a lot of people who just weren't ready for the limelight. So I didn't have that many things to shoot this year. I loved this woman. This woman for Spider-Gwen was just amazing. She was so nice. Her cosplay fit her perfectly. She looked like Spider-Gwen in real life. Sisters Battle cosplay. There is a Sisters Battle. I love the Zaku cosplay. That one has a story, but we're not gonna get into it. There was there's a SOB and an Admech. There was. In a way to protect them, I shot them. Yes. Yeah. Space Marine, probably. All right. So sorry if I'm ranting too much here, guys, and going all over the place. But just kind of go over this. So let's go into this. This was the first cosplay I shot on the weekend on Friday. This is a couple cosplay, and there's something beautiful about seeing couples who cosplay together for me. Like, just gives me hope in humanity, in the world, and things, because this is a nerdy hobby, and the longer you live, the more you realize there are a lot of bad couples out there. And I mean that, or like, they should have broken up a long time ago. They're not happy. The relationship isn't good. They're just with each other for whatever reason. And I get it. Sometimes life, you're just stuck with somebody for a while, for whatever reason. But to see people do something like this, creative endeavors where they say, you know what, let's share a hobby. Let's have quality time together in a fun way. And they're supportive of each other, and they're they're like helping each other. One person does the foam, one person does the sewing, one person does the wigs, one person does the whatever the hell else, and they like do these things together, or they plan these together, or this con, I'll pick the cosplays, the next con you'll pick the cosplays, and they're right there helping to make sure this looks good. When I'm shooting one of them, the other is making sure their outfit looks good. Like that level of support for each other, care, the love, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel happy being around that. I mean, you guys must know this. If you've ever been around happy people, people in love, as long as you're in the right mental space for that, it makes you feel better. It gives you hope and love. It gives you the warm fuzzies. And I know sometimes you can be in such a like bad strait. Sometimes you see that you're like, oh. But if you're not in that space and you could appreciate this, you could appreciate seeing love out there. You could appreciate seeing couples supporting each other. This is beautiful. And this is a big, wonderful thing for me whenever I do these cosplay interviews, seeing couples like this, just there, happy, supporting each other, loving each other. Oh my God, it's so cool. It's like, it is everything I want at convention. These two, for my very first cosplay interview of the weekend, having these guys as my starter interview was perfection. And the amazing thing is, when I interviewed them, the mic was off. Oh, fuck me. We had to reshoot the interview. Thankfully, they let me do it. Thankfully, they're happy to shoot with me. But this happened to me at some conventions already, where I would meet some people and shoot them, and the mic and the interview had to go to the trash because I didn't turn the mic on. It's just like, oh, fuck my life. But they let me interview them again, and it was a good interview again. Some of the magic was gone from second telling, but then they were able to, for other parts of it, they were able to like refine what they told me. So I'm happy with the interview, and I'm happy that these two are my first. I forgot who they are called, what they're called. I don't know what the hell they are. I think this is Monster Hunter stuff. I don't know. But super intricate, wonderfully detailed. They were both sensational. And they did everything that I wanted. They like new poses. They were agreeable. They wanted to be there. They took me seriously. Their breath didn't stink. This is a big one. And they were there supporting each other. And it made me so happy. Next cosplayer I interviewed was this guy. How do I want to approach this? His cosplay was good. He was a nice guy, but a little young, and I don't know, kind of jokey, and that was kind of rubbed off on me. And there's just one point that kind of pissed me off, I didn't tell him afterward it was wrong. I'm like, hey, pose and put the spear toward me, and he lunged it toward my throat, and it stopped nearby, and I kind of caught it, and that just got me so pissed off because that was a very hard plastic, and had he fucked up, or had I moved wrong, I could have died. And I was going to take him to the corner in a respectful way and tell him never do that shit again. Never ever do that shit again. And I did it because like a bunch of other people came in and they started doing some other new stuff. But that really kind of like whoa and put me up, like pissed me off. But besides that, beautiful cosplay, great guy, just kind of young and stupid. And I'm sorry that it comes out that way, but like hopefully someone tells him never do that again. But I would happily shoot him again because his craftsmanship's amazing. He's a really nice guy. He's a little stupid, that's all. But I still remember that. I'm like, whoa, that left a bad impression on me because like I did not like that, and I was like, okay, don't do that. And I think I did tell him don't do that again, but I didn't tell it to him as forcefully as it deserved because that could have gone south. So that wasn't a soft foam thing. That was like hard plastic in the tear spit. And so, yeah, that could have done damage. But as an Elden Ring player, this guy beat my ass in games so many times. So seeing someone do the cosplay, and then the best part is this fucker was tall too. So it was so cool seeing someone do a badass armored cosplay from a game that I enjoy and then fit the stature of the character. Like, he was perfection. He was perfection. I would love it if as time passes he like does more and more of the cosplay and helps it get more awesome over time. I mean, this was also already a really great cosplay, but there is some room for improvement, and I would love to see this taken to the next level. But very great for a second cosplay interview. Like, seriously, I love armor cosplays. I love armor cosplays, and this is just sensational work. All right, let's see chat here for a second. Monster Hunter Mizumi armor. I honestly saw a guy have to leave the mic on through the whole con, like not recording 24/7, just leaving it plugged in and idle. Okay. All right. Third, okay, Helldivers cosplays. So these guys, there was a big group of cosplayers. They're all friends with each other. So these guys were with this guy and came in afterward. And I shot and started talking to this guy first. It was really interesting with friends and people in general, how some people are just very different. So the guy on the left was kind of also kind of jokey, kind of like, just having a good time. And how do I say this? I don't think I was getting good answers from him when we were talking, and then his buddy showed up, and his buddy on the right made the cosplays, and he was very well spoken and happy to be interviewed, and they both were happy to be interviewed and stuff. But I think I initially just wanted to do a cosplay interview with him, then him, and then he wanted his friend there, and having his friend there made the interview better, and I'm very happy that happened, because I don't think the interview would have been that good with just the one person, but the two of them together really worked out great. Okay, so fourth interview, sorry, I can't math. This guy I shot last year, and I forgot what. I don't even know if I posted it yet, because I have so many cosplay interviews. Super nice guy, great cosplay. I love the dedication he brought with this thing. He made the shield. He's really great to talk to, and I had no issues, and I really enjoyed it. And as you could see, this was Friday, and it was still relatively early. This was like 10 a.m.-ish, and it was kind of emptier in here. And it's made me sad, because I wanted to get to the con at 8, but since I barely slept, I slept in a bit, and like at 9-ish, I woke up, I started getting ready, and I saw some videos on X where this area was full of good people. By the time I showed up at 10-ish, they all went to other places. I'm like, excuse me, but this was an awesome cosplay, and man, I hope this guy was okay throughout the weekend, because this would have sucked. This area was the air conditioning this year at the con did not keep up very well. The first 2 years, these areas were fine. Like, it was cool, even carrying a bunch of things. My first 2 years there, I think I was carrying like a book bag with me and some other stuff, and I was like totally comfortable. And then this year, I didn't even have a book bag on. I was wearing a light shirt, maybe because I'm fatter now, but I was sweating. Sweat was running down my back, and like I can't imagine being in cosplay. In a bunch of these areas, the air conditioner would just like kind of go on and off, and it was super humid. Maybe because it was crazy humid. We're having like some thunderstorms like crazy this weekend, but the convention air conditioning wasn't keeping up that well. So I kind of feel bad for all these cosplayers. All right, let's see if there's anything else in chat. Yeah, Fire Force. Oh, I checked. He checks before each interview, make sure it's plugged in. I do the same thing. Maybe it was a hassle turning on and off for the guy, but I remember having some mics where you had to plug it in, and then there was an on-off switch, and I forgot why, but you wanted to always shut it off when you're done, whatever. But there were plenty of times we did the interview and we didn't hit that on switch, or we hit the on switch, but the plug didn't go in all the way. A lot of my earlier interviews are mono, because that plug-in mic was mono, and I never figured out how to like put it to both channels. All right, so this was a friend of the last guy, the Fire Force cosplay, and she was in, I forget, I knew it, No More Heroes cosplay, I think, Travis Touchdown, I think, and she was a sweetie. She was nice. This is not the next cosplayer. I'm saying this now because this isn't the cosplayer I just talked about, and this isn't the next few. But this Otakon, I ran into so many people with horrific breath. It pissed me off, disgusted me, and made me sad, all at the same time. Because some of these people were young people, and their teeth were all sorts of effed up. Like, oh my god, there was two younger but still adult cosplayers that I shot, early 20s. In particular, that made me sad because they were so young, enthusiastic, and awesome and talented. But if I caught it earlier, I would not have interviewed them because their teeth were fucked 10 ways to Sunday. One of them had, like, I swear to God, like a 1/4 inch of tartar on their teeth, and the other one's teeth were all sorts of, like, dirty. And I interviewed both. I interviewed both of these people in a row, and I cut one interview out really quickly because I was getting nauseous because of how bad the smell was. And it happened with the second person, but not as bad. And it always upsets me when young people don't care for themselves. When I was in college, there was this friend I had. She was a cutie, she was a nice girl, but she didn't really care about her appearance much, and she let her teeth get, like, all tartary messed up. And I'm that honest jerk friend, like, yo, you need to brush your fucking teeth. And at some points we're hanging out, I'm like, no, I'm serious. We'll call her Rebecca. It's not her name, but, well, like, Rebecca, go rinse your mouth out. Your breath is atrocious, and you need to take care of your teeth. Like, here she was this great person, nice girl, trying to work in media. I'm like, and I gave her the talking to several times, and she did get better because of me being honest with her. Because, like, look, you're not going to get a job in New York City doing any sort of media work if you fucking stink, if your teeth aren't good, if you don't take care of how you look, because we're in a judgmental world. And she was just like, oh no, we should all treat each other great. Like, no, that's not how the world works. Most job places will not hire a candidate who smells funny. So over time, she started taking better care of herself because I was just ruthless. I was like, look, you wash your ass. You'd let it. Sometimes we'd hang out and, like, she'd smell a little funny. I like, honey, what did I tell you? You get, like, a little bit of scales here. You could just use all these things. And when I remember, like, two of these people in particular, I'm like, oh my god, these are probably, like, Rebecca's kids. I would be surprised. But any of you out there who don't take care of your teeth, why? There's no reason. Brush, floss. There's never too late. Even if they're rotted, you can bring things back pretty far. Even proper mouth maintenance. I met a guy who worked for a con. His teeth were beyond fucked. Like, they were all rotted and black. His breath didn't stink. I don't know how the fuck he did it, but I had, like, several conversations with this guy and his fucked up teeth, and I mean, they were just ugly. His breath was fine. I don't know how he did it. If I had money besides traveling, I would pay to have his mouth fixed. I would pay for him to have implants. He's this heavy set dude who just had these horrendously messed up teeth, and it's just like the fact that he was so heavy set, it didn't smell. The fact that his teeth are rotted, didn't smell. So why do young people who are lithe or whatever have BO on them or breath is atrocious is beyond me and inexcusable. And I feel like we're at a point of society where we're just letting people be themselves and not call them out and stuff. But a big part of growing up is learning how to take care of yourself and learning how to take criticism. And I think we need to go back to telling people, hey, you fucking stink. And part of me regrets this weekend not calling them out and saying this, but I was in the I just want to get shit done and have no drama. So I didn't call people out over the entire weekend, but there were several people whose breath was shit and nauseating, and it really upset me, especially for young people, because there's this big thing these days of young men who feel like they can't date, they can't get women, they can't get a good job, and a bunch of these guys are slobby fucks, and it doesn't have to be that. It really doesn't. We have to make taking care of yourself a cultural norm again. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I know you're here for that stuff, but I'm ranting. I'm sorry. I've had people in school who didn't take showers for weeks, and it was terrible to sit next to them. Yeah, the schools. I think a lot of schools have the ability to just kick them out or send them home, and then call CPS on them because their parents are failing them by allowing their child to be that way. That's disgusting. Um, but anyway, seeing these, one of them was, he could have been a very handsome young man, but he was just disheveled. His teeth were filthy and like just like unkempt. His face was all sorts of like, he didn't seem to wash it that day, and it's just like I'm looking at this person like, you are throwing away your opportunities because you're not taking care of yourself. Possibly jobs, love, friendship, like all of these things are within your reach, and you're throwing it away out of laziness, out of I don't know what. And it makes me sad and upsets me. Okay, so that rant is over, and then I'm gonna get to the next thing before we get up to like, there is also, as far as bad thing goes, I actually had like a whole like what is this called, con thing going. Was it here? Yeah, what I was gonna talk about. But yeah, but please, what I was gonna say, there is also the unfortunate thing. Remember I was talking about how there's wonderful cosplay couples? Unfortunately, this weekend there are also bad couples at the con. And that hurt and pissed me off to watch, because as a guy, as a Latin guy, if you say Latinx, I'll punch you. But as a Spanish man, Hispanic, whatever you want to freaking call, besides Latinx, I don't like seeing women treated badly. I really don't like seeing women treated badly. It bothers me. There were a few women cosplayers this weekend whose boyfriends and husbands were just making the weekend worse for them and then ruining the interview. There's a lot of guys who can't handle their women getting attention. Yeah, this is some beta male bitch behavior. I've always noticed a lot of insecure guys, a lot of just losers date women and can't handle that they're with a woman, or can't handle they're with a beautiful woman, and they'll always try to undercut them or bring them down a few pegs or whatever, or take the steam out of their sails. And it's weird because it's always weird, especially when these guys meet a woman in a club and she's dressed in the nines, sexy Latina woman, and they like that she was in that outfit and dancing all sexy when he met her. But now that they're dating, she got to cut all that shit out. It's like, nah, man, you married a Latin dancer. You started dating a Latin dancer. This is the package. She's gonna dress in the nines and be sexy as hell and go out and dance, either with you or some other people. And you need to be okay with that if you're in a relationship. A lot of dudes can't handle that. And at this con, I ran into several relationships where the guy would be sucking his teeth over and over again the entire time we were doing the shoot, whispering under his breath. I was wasting the fucking time and shit. And like there were two of them where the dude was kind of like breaking her down. Like you saw her as they talked doing this. And I wanted to punch him. Like there was one dude especially, I'm just like, I kind of want to deck him. Because this woman was sensational. She was like, when we were talking, she was like passionate about cosplay, thankful she was being noticed, and super appreciative. And she kept saying, I'd love to do cosplays with him, but he just not into it. And these jack-offs would just be like, oh, I would never waste my time with this shit. Like, the fuck are you doing here then? When a couple years ago when I started doing cosplay coverage, there was this goddess tier Spanish woman who came into the con, and she was just friggin' perfect. She was so sweet. And one of the questions I asked is, would you ever do, I saw that she had the ring on, like, would you ever do cosplay with your husband? Oh, he doesn't care. He just drops me off and just leaves me here. And I was just dumbstruck. Like, wait. He's like, he finds it stupid. He doesn't like it. He just drops me off and leaves. He just thinks it's a waste of time. And like, what kind of husband would leave his beautiful wife to go do this stuff and be so flippant? And throughout we just started chatting. I guess like two Puerto Ricans. We just kind of like, It's clicked. And I didn't try anything with her. I would never. I, I'm not about to break up any marriages, but we just clicked and we like, oh my god, we're on the same age. We're both fans of the same anime. We're chatting about old school anime. That hurts to say, but anytime we would chat about like family stuff, she's like, oh, my husband, like, he just wasn't a fan of any of the hobbies she had, and I just couldn't fathom having such. Well, really, I can't fathom in any relationship like a woman being with a woman and not trying to be a part of any of her hobbies. At least for me, I've always tried to be supportive and be there for things, even if I'm not a fan of it. I mean, first girlfriend was a dancer. I'm not really a fan of clubs, but if she's gonna go out to clubs, I'm gonna be there as much as possible, and I'm gonna, badly jiggle, wiggle, and be out there when I can. And then when I can't, it's like I'm gonna trust that she's gonna be out there dancing. And you have to accept the fact, like, they can cheat on you at any time. They're not around. So you have to trust in the love and the relationship that it's going to be okay. And I did that. Second one, I remember she was a fan of freaking reality shows. And oh my God, I sat through so much Survivor and so many shitty reality shows. And she was also a dancer and a club person, so I went to things. But like, I didn't want to do this, but I wanted her to be happy, and I wanted to be happy with her. So I tried to always share whatever hobbies. And I do that until this day. And I still can't for the life of me understand why guys would not do this and then try to like shame and bother a woman to the point she just loses interest in something. And at this con, there were several relationships that were just toxic in front of me. And I was just being quiet this weekend. Because a lot of times I speak up and I tell dudes, like, look, but the most common, the best thing I tell a lot of men is this. There is no faster way to lose a woman to another guy than by being insecure or not trusting her. Because, in my experience, baby Bernardo, and I'm sorry if you guys don't like this, when I was younger, I was a bit of a homewrecker. And I took delight in it. And when I would see a couple like this, it was like, oh, this is an easy one to break up. Because women aren't happy when they're in a relationship and the guy doesn't trust her. They're not. And sooner or later, she's like, well, if you don't trust me already, if you're already assuming I'm fucking every guy that it's in my class or that I know at work, I might as well. And I've said this a few times to some people, but the quickest way to plant that seed of distrust and break up a relationship that is like, oh, he doesn't trust you with me. And that right there, like, it hits at the foundation, the linchpin of the relationship. He doesn't trust you. This is where all of this comes from. You cannot be with someone who doesn't trust you. You just can't. And then it would fall apart, and I would get the girl, and then whatever. But when I see guys doing this, it always like you're sabotaging relationship. And I think I learned this lesson way long ago when I was a boy, because my sister, she dated way too early, and I came across so many times she was in love with a guy and her friends. I was that little fat kid around a bunch. I was always the platonic friend. So I was there for all my friends, like junior high school through early college relationships with men, and seen all the guys fuck up relationships, and watched all these girls go from loving the guy, adoring him, worshiping him, to like, fuck this. Because a lot of the guys would do this insecure BS where they would try to undercut or like demean or just like shame a woman into the point she just stops doing whatever bad thing because he was insecure. And at this con, unfortunately, I ran into a lot of the let's say five of the female cosplayers that I shot were in visibly toxic relationships, and I just had to stand there and watch the guy be unsupportive, condescending, or just bitchy throughout the interview. And it pissed me off. Something fierce. It really pissed me off. And for those relationships, every one of them seemed especially thankful that I appreciated their work, that I called out. I'm not saying I was going to try anything. I wasn't, obviously. But they appreciated that I noticed the things. I called out the things. I cared. And to be honest, were I back in asshole mode, I feel like that's an easy opening because you're the guy next to like the jerk saying, "Hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate your hard work. I see you. I think you're amazing. I don't have a problem with this." So I don't think I'm pretty sure like all of those relationships are not gonna last. As I hope the one where the woman was just she kept bowing her head, like Conan shame and going quiet and meek around him. I hope she gets out of that. Unfortunately, they were married, which is like, how do you marry a woman who's been like cosplaying for years and then have a problem with cosplay? What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, sorry for the rant. Sorry for the rant, but yeah, a few of them are coming up, and I just like, it bothers me so much. All right, so where were we? All right, and the next, that's it. So, this was a fun cosplayer. I think will improve over time. She had a great cosplay, but it's also her first interview, I think. Excuse me, but she was a bit stiff and a bit robotic in the interview. But this happens with a bunch of people, and the longer I know them, the better they are. So I get the feeling if I shot her again next year, she'd be a lot more confident. And sometimes it takes people seeing me a few times to really get comfy and cool. It's like, well, I know he's safe. And sort of what I mentioned before was those creepy con photographers and fake press. Every year at Otakon, I run into some photographers who show up and their only goal in life is to get pussy. That's it. That's all they want. The camera is their what they must think a Spanish fly or something, because you see them shoot and then afterward they get really close. Hey, if you want these numbers fast, give me your cell phone number. Or like, hey, you single? And you see them shooting their shot. And I've seen some dudes shoot their shot with like 8 or 10 girls in a day and get shut down. And then it's like, ugh. Because of that, so many cosplayers are kind of like stiff and nervous. So it could have been that too. Who knows? So usually after seeing me shoot other people and shoot them, and the end of the thing, I didn't ask for their phone number, I didn't try to get with them, they get more comfortable with me. But for our first meeting, I'm happy with this, I'm good with the interview, but I feel like we could do better together if and hopefully when I run into her again and shoot her again, hopefully she'll be a little more like loose and like comfortable, but she was a bit stiff. But I love the cosplay, it fit her great, and she was really fun once she I think over the course of the interview she started opening up and feeling relaxed, which it usually happens too, and she seems really great. I hope I get to shoot her again. All right, Mark retracted a message. It's so weird that could happen. All right, this woman was a lot of fun, and there's gonna be like an image later on of her in a bit of a risque outfit. So yeah, so she was wearing the One Punch Man cosplay, and she was doing the perfection thing, and it fit her perfectly. And she was getting plenty of the shots where she's sideways and her ass is half hanging out, just the way it happens in the comics. I chose for this shoot not to take any pictures like that because, like I said before, and you may have heard me say this in other things, when you are a male photographer, press, whatever, you are deemed a creep. You are deemed a horrible person, almost a pedophile, just a piece of shit. The worst things you can think of. That is what you get with a lot of the con photographers. Like I was just talking about before, like a lot of dudes are just here to get some ass and to get some panty shots and some titty shots. And I try not to shoot TNA cosplayers, partly because I feel that to shoot them in the center of the con is to give people around you the impression that you are one of the guys there, solely there, to get tits and ass shots and to get pussy. And I don't ever want to be seen that way. I don't I mean I've been in a relationship the entire time I've been doing this, so I've never hit on anybody before. And if I were single, I still wouldn't hit on anybody at these convents because I don't know. I don't want to go around that I'm trying to look for a girlfriend and get some ass at a con because rumors spread. And then I don't want a bad relationship to happen and then rumors spread. So, and then there's not my type, you could say. So I could have gotten more fun, true to the character, salacious shots with this shoot, but I chose not to because, again, I don't want others to see me shooting that in that way and start thinking, oh, he's just another creep. Give me one sec, I gotta eat something. I've not eaten anything, really. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I don't even know how many people are watching. 3 viewers, 27. All right. Oh shit, camera's off. So yeah, but she was a lot of fun. She was great to talk to, and we had some good chemistry, like for shots and chit chatting. She seems great. I can be her friend, and I would love to shoot her more later on. So, and then it's made me happy to have someone who's pretty do Tatsumaki justice. The fun part though is she's like a good 1.5 2 feet taller than me. So plus she's wearing giant shoes. So to do a lolly tiny character but be a tall person, hilarious. Oh my god, I love this woman. You know when you meet somebody and you get that warm, fuzzy, this is a really nice person feeling? Boom. This young woman was just a doll. She was so precious. She looked like Spider-Gwen or Gwen Stacy to me, incarnate. So like the lifelong Spider-Man fan in me was like, oh my fucking god, you're like real life Gwen Stacy. Holy crap. And like so seeing this in person, oh my god, made me so happy. She was just like perfect to interview all around. She knew her poses. She's up for doing new poses. Well spoken, nice, eager. She's just amazing. Just like if I could have all my cosplayers to have her energy, I would have. Oh my god, so much crazy good content. She was amazing. I should have had everyone's social media pulled up. I'm so sorry. I didn't have time to do that before this. Sorry, I was some tea and honey. I'm not up to it. Sorry guys. But if I do this again, I promise I'll have everybody's social media up so you could follow them. They're great. They're great for the most part. There's a few people I shot that I'm like, oh god, I'm never shooting this person again. But I hope I run into her to every con from now on because I just had, again, just a great time. She was super sweet and great. All right, we have this dude. Another great person. Young, eager cosplayer, really nice, well-spoken, takes good direction. At this point, the convention was getting a bit busier, so how do I say this? So if you may notice, I've shot a lot of this area in this con from this angle. I like to be to the right here, facing this way. And by that, let me see if I can open this real quick for you. Oh, this is a good example. So this was this is last year at Otakon. So this is the entrance to the main area of Otakon. And I love this because when it's empty, when I have a good clear shot, it looks kind of epic. But the problem is sometimes it gets busy, and like here, I use Lightroom and Photoshop to get rid of a bunch of people. But I love this look. But I do like it when I do interviews in this location because something about having the cosplayer here and then me next to them and having the con bustling, I think adds a lot to the interview. I think it makes the interview seem more fun, and it puts the con in a really great light because it's busy, because you see so many other cool things. I think it makes the videos rewatchable besides the content, which hopefully you want to rewatch for the content, but because you want to see, ooh, who's walking in the background, who's back there, and all that. The problem is, building security, the real building security, and the convention staff are not a fan of people standing there and doing interviews there or just doing photo shoots there. It's a big entryway. And although I try to be far away from the entrance so that I don't become a bother, it's still kind of frowned upon. And it's weird because some staff lets it, you know, is totally fine with it. Some staff will just be jerks about it and like yell and be condescending and demeaning, like, get the fuck out of there, stupid. It's like, whoa, no, don't talk to me that way. So it would be kind of like I would go there and then sometimes we shoot off like, hey, come. Sometimes I was told by staff, like, just give it a break for a little bit, and so it's like less busy, because sometimes it'd be empty and I shoot and then like it'd get really busy, like, hey, Bernardo, can you move over a little bit so that until it cools down, and then I would, and then I would come back when it cools down, and another staff member was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, whoa. I'm not saying that happens that often. This most of the time the staff is fine, but there are one or two jerks who like to take their power a little serious, a little too much. But I shot a majority of the con, as you can see, on the sides, so people were still coming up here. But on some, I don't know. I don't think it does. I don't think it's good for photos, but. You know, I got what I got, and I'm happy I did get stuff, so there's that. But sometimes there was a big conga line of people coming in. All right. So she was a joy. This young woman was a doll. I adored her. I really adored her. This outfit was just, next level sensational. Now this, I did get a few shots with her here in the entrance thing, but I kept it quick, and as you can see, it was relatively dead. But then I immediately, I'm pretty sure I shot her to the side because I don't want to get in trouble with the staff. And yeah, so the only downside of this area is this carpet makes everything orange, and for someone wearing white, her like legs, I had to de-orange it a bit and like desaturate the bottom in some areas to make this picture work. But I love these outfits. When I was younger, I think college, I started looking into Japanese crazy fashion. There are some areas in Japan, I don't remember the names, but there are some parts of Japan where people go just to dress up in all sorts of wild, crazy, fun ways, and this is some of the styles you'd see. And it's like they would even do this in the summertime outside. I'm like, man, you girls got some dedication, and dudes would do this too. And seeing this at the con, I was pretty sure it wasn't a cosplay. And when I spoke to her, she said, no, it's based on a Japanese band and what one of the lead singers wears, I believe. And I just loved that. I loved it so much. Like, that she would do something like this made me so happy. Okay, I'm going to edit this out. So all of these pictures, these are like light edits. But in the final shot, I'll get rid of that zipper. But I love when people do characters. Oddly, I'm not that much of a fan of OCs sometimes, unless it's done really well. Because sometimes people who do OCs are original characters. A lot of times people do OCs, they're kind of weird. They're kind of weird about it. And it's just like, now they have a reason to tell me the life story of their OC. I'm like, okay, slow down. I don't care. Slow down. I don't care. But I've met a bunch of cool, normal people who have OCs too and dress up like that. But yeah, I'm thankful this wasn't that and she wasn't crazy. I feel this way for a bunch of cosplays. But I think there's maybe like 4 on this list that I'm showing you where I wish with all my heart that I could have taken to another location and shot with a better background. 1 second. Hey, baby! Can you do me a favor and get one of the what is it called? Can you get me one of the battery packs from the kitchen? It's on the table. You know the battery packs on the kitchen table that have the flashlight in them?
Yes.
Can you get me one, please? Like, I look at this and I want to take her to a lovely garden. I want to take her to like something nice and give her a better background to work with. I mean, for so many of these cosplayers, I wish I wasn't shooting where I was shooting. I wish I could have taken them upstairs to some quiet, empty area to really get the shots I know I can do and they deserve. But this is what I had, and I love this. This is just sensational. She's so great. Okay, do me a favor. Plug this in, turn that on, and then this is a weird plug with the phone. Like, it works in one way but not the other. So can you plug it into the phone and see if you get that charge symbol?
Okay. It's charging.
It's charging? Okay, give me the battery pack then. Perfect. All right, that's all. Thank you so much. I want to. Jasmine's here with some of our cats. All right, but she was lovely. All right, so this next person was a doll. And I really enjoyed talking with her and shooting with her, and she made this cosplay, and she was sensational. I caught her, this was Friday, and I caught her Saturday night toward the end of the day, and the lighting just wasn't there. I thought the lighting just wasn't there, and she wanted to do an interview with that one. I'm like, look, the light's just not here. Can I see you tomorrow? She's like, yeah, I'll be in this big thing, and I never saw her again. Ugh, broke my heart. But she was a doll. I hope to run into her again. She has a YouTube channel too, where she says she does rapping or something. So I'm very curious to find that. Oh my God, this one was a dream. She was so nice. Another person I would have loved to take to a different location. I think this was she told me it was a Hades 2 cosplay. And yeah, man, so good. So much detail. Like, I got shots of everything, and I feel like I didn't get shots of enough. I hope to see her again at other cons. She's a sensational cosplayer, wonderful speaker, and I had a great time chatting with her. Like, again, she needs a better background because this bright pink here, I find myself hating the people in the background ruining my shot. Like, how dare they? How dare they? All right. Hunter. I'm pretty sure this guy's name was Hunter. This was a cool cosplay. Like, this was like back when Bleach didn't suck to me. This is back when it was still like I had hope for this being a good story. I'm sorry, like Bleach started sucking for a while for me. But give me a second. I need to eat. I've been wanting to see a cosplay like this for ages, and he did a good job. He was a nice guy. I think I was his first interview, and people loved him. So yeah, I don't know where I would shoot this. I don't know, man. I hope this guy and I get to shoot again, and I hope to do it in a place where that kind of like gets the Bleach energy going. This is one of those funny ones that it's true to the anime, but when you see it in person, it's kind of, not to be condescending to him, but there are plenty of animes that look good in anime, but that kind of look silly in real life. A few examples to me are Outlaw Star. Gene Starwind looks, I've seen a bunch of perfect Gene Starwinds, and it just looks silly in real life. The same thing would go with Yu Yu Hakusho. I run across a bunch of like perfect Yu Yu Hakushos or Yusuke Urameshis. They look super doofy me in real life. There's a bunch of cosplays where I feel like it just doesn't translate very well. And even if this was like even when it's like they proportionally fit the character great, something about seeing outfits like this where it's the bodysuit type, or I don't know, it's just not that cool. Like, it's cool to me because I love the character, I love the thing, I love the part of it, but it's also like, how do you make the coolness show through in real life without a whole bunch of crazy edits? It just doesn't work in a real life situation with this background. Now, if you did what I don't know how to do, a bunch of people take these sort of cosplays and change the background to be something anime and epic, then this works a lot better. But seeing it in real life is kind of off for me, and I don't know. I kind of want to edit this in a zany way where like he is in the anime world with this outfit. Nice guy, nice guy. And chat has died. I think I may have said a few things that upset you guys. Sorry about that. Let's see. Oh, so when I was complaining about cosplay couples and people who aren't supportive and aren't there for each other and the jerks, this ain't it. These two were happily in love, super supportive. They were both helping each other out. Like, oh, let me fix this. Oh, let me fix that. Oh, and they were up for shooting and they were excited. And he was happy and proud when I was shooting her, not insecure, no snarky comments, and vice versa with her. And it was great. Give me 1 second. I hope to see these two again. I really, I mean, oh, not so. He was in chat. I don't know if he's still there. There's something about shooting a happy couple at a con that just gives me energy. Like at this part of the day, I was exhausted. But that positive energy, like it's like there are a few cosplayers you heard me already talk about, like, oh my god, they were so great. Like I feel like I just click with it. I feel like their enthusiasm invigorates me. But good couple cosplays, good caring in love couple cosplayers, man, they refresh the batteries for me. They give me hope. I thought, oh, this is why I'm doing this. I want to share this. I want to share their love. And this shot itself just makes me very, very, very happy. And I wish them the best. I really do. This is beautiful to me. Total highlight of the con. Oh no, chat is gone. All right, next shot. Hawk's cosplayer. She was great. I appreciated this. And yeah, I had a good time talking to her. This was a hard shoot to do because of the wings and then because it became pretty busy. But besides that, I would love to shoot this person again. I will say, this material that for this cosplay is in is very unforgiving. So she could have, I don't know if she ironed this beforehand. If she did it, she should have. But I know this material because I have a similar cosplay to this. And even when you iron it, if you sit down, you walk around, you do stuff, it just gets wrinkled. So it was kind of frustrating for me because I hate dealing with wrinkled cosplays. Because kind of in post, I feel like I have to edit it out. Like all these wings, I'm going to get rid of those lines. All these lines in the cardboard, I believe, I'm going to get rid of these in the final edit. I'm just spend the time doing that. And I try to do the same thing for fabric. But I also understand this fabric is a nightmare to deal with and wear. And it also holds the heat and it's super uncomfortable. So yeah, it's like, I love you. I love your energy. I just hope one day this person gets a better cosplay to work with and has something that puts her best foot forward. Like, I see this and I'm like, some brown slacks and make your own jacket, and then it's like 90% of the wrinkles there. You can still keep the bottom shirt. I've seen a bunch of cosplayers that they took these cheap cosplays. Sorry to say that, but they take these cosplays and then they break them down. They fit them to themselves, and then they break them down and use them as templates to make a better version with better materials. And I'm 100% sure that with better materials, this woman would be getting oodles, gobs of attention. Okay, this young lady was sensational. I think this is Steven's universe. I'm not sure. I keep seeing people talk about this and hearing people talk about this, but it doesn't sound like a thing I would like to watch. But I always love it when I run into this cosplay because I love it. I think the rest of the cast does not do it for me cosplay wise, but this, always does. I don't know why. Big gown, dress, sword and shield. Damn it, that's awesome. And the big ass wig. This person, she did it great. She knocked it out the park, and she was sweet. I had a blast shooting her. Oh, my throat. So this young woman was also really amazing. Unfortunately, she was a bit shy with me, like a bit reserved. But I'm again after we did. I always start off with the shots, and then I talk to the people during the shoot to get them comfortable with me, and then I pop out the interview, and then that's how I usually get them. And during the shot part of it, she I don't think she knew very many poses either, and I don't know the characters, so I don't know exactly what to do here. Plus, this area was insanely busy, and this was one of the few shots where it wasn't just like somebody sitting down or somebody in some bright colored thing. So it was really hard getting good pictures of her that were just clean. And this is one of those cosplays where I'm like, oh, I wish I could take you somewhere else. So this is from the anime Overlord, I believe. And yeah, I keep hearing of it. I keep seeing good cosplays from it, and the way she talked about it, I'm like, I really should give this a try, read the manga or something. But her cosplay was sensational, absolutely sensational, and I wish I think I did a decent job with the photos, but she deserves more. I really wish I could have taken her someplace else and gotten some good shots with her. And toward the end, after the interview, she was a lot more comfortable with me and like relaxed. And I hope I get to shoot her again, because this was beautiful work, and she was a doll. All right, so this guy was an interesting interview. How do I say this? I kind of have a love-hate relationship with people who go to cons and play music. Love because it's wonderful to see people who like do the craft. Hate because it kind of worries me for ruining interviews, because if people start playing copyrighted music in the background of my YouTube videos, I could get copyright strikes. And oftentimes some people come on to play music and it's really loud. And I think I was interviewing the last girl, and he was playing some music really loud. So like, I went over and asked him, "Hey, can you please lower a little bit just for a few minutes so I can do an interview?" And he lowered it just like a little bit. I'm like, but it was good enough where I was able to do the interview. But I really did kind of dig what he was wearing, and I kind of find it really fun. Like, dude brought a damn piano to a con and is playing it, and he wasn't bad. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna interview the musician, and it was okay. It was an okay interview. So yeah, I finally got a musician down. I really wish I could actually have him play and other musicians play on camera. But oh man, audio copyright stuff, it's hard. It's hard, and I like, my channel has no strikes, and I don't want to mess around with that. Oh, piano guy. I don't think I heard you, piano guy. Oh my God, you're here, dude. You were fun. You were fun, and okay, that makes me feel a lot better about it. Because I thought you were just kind of being like, whatever. Like, I've had that happen last year at Otakon, where you were. There was a group of kids doing K-pop dancing, and the guy was blasting the music, and I was worried you might be this bad. There was, and I'm like, yo, excuse me, do you mind lowering? He's like, fuck you, no. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm not lowering shit. So I'm like, And then some other guys came. Like last year, that area was kind of helping me, because then some other guy came. It was like people with competing music, raising it higher and higher. But yeah, I will say, no, you weren't at last year. You were not. But I was telling you about last year, though, what I dealt with. So that's why I was extra aware. Like, oh God, another music person. But I was gonna go into a story about that, because I would say at first I was like kind of put off, because I thought you just ignored me. But then I interviewed you, and you were really nice, and I did, and that's why I shared your image. Because sometimes there are a bunch of people I interviewed here, and I did not share it, and I'm not sharing their stuff because fuck them. You were not. You're a sweet guy. I really appreciated that, and thank you for sharing your time with me. But as you could hear, I've had bad experiences with musicians before. But last year at Otakon, oh my god, people were just walking around with boom boxes, just blaring music and just being jerks about it. It's like I was getting a headache trying to do interviews in the area, and oh, that sucked. But this year, after you left, there was another guy, and I couldn't find the photo. And there was a guy who set up and started playing the flute. And at first, he was off. Maybe he was. I don't know the musician thing, but he wasn't sounding good. I'm like, oh, that's so annoying. Why would you set up and you don't even know how to play? And then I came back a little bit later, and then he found his groove, and he was kind of nice. I was like, oh God, why do they set up in the center? And part of me was, and I was thinking about it for a bit. Like on the one hand, I understand the need to perform. And this is actually going to go into another point later. I understand the need to want to perform. I've been to several other cons where there were musicians who were really good, who would come out and perform really well, and they would do some anime stuff, and that was cool. And but the first few were kind of cool. Others were just like doing horribly. But I came back to the guy with the flute. I don't know if it's called the flute, but I'm gonna call it a flute. And he got better later. I'm like, that's actually kind of nice. And I felt like, all right, cool. And then that same guy was at like that at the end of the day, I think like 7 o'clock at night, he and several other musicians were near the entrance of the convention center, and this was a magical moment for me. Like this right there is why I love cons, why I love the community, and it was just beautiful. So this guy was with a bunch of other musicians tucked away in a corner playing music off the beaten path respectfully. Like they weren't really blocking anything. They were in an area of the con where they weren't bothering anybody, and those guys were jamming out. They were doing a perfect rendition of the Cowboy Bebop intro and a few other songs, and I was like, oh my god. I was just I didn't, if you were there, that would have been awesome. I don't know if you were there, because there was a crowd of people around them, and that was just kind of magical for me. Like it was. So if you, I don't know how much of my stream you caught, but like if you were, I spend my con back and forth hunting people to interview, and they were so good. I just found myself stopping, breathing, relaxing, and listening. And I was like happy, but then I got kind of sad because I'm like, I wish I could record them. I wish I could like highlight them and share their music and their performance, because their performance deserved to be seen by plenty of other people. I mean, granted, the crowd was lapping it up. A bunch of people had their cell phone cameras on, but by God, that's so cool to like be able to sit down to a con where people know you and play anime music and have people like, yeah, like watching and recording. Like they must have felt like rock star. You guys must have been so happy. Oh my God, that was such a cool moment. And I just hung out there for a minute and like kind of de-stressed. And excuse me, that's kind of like the beautiful thing about the con stuff, how people can have these spaces and these groups, and sometimes people don't even know each other and they just make a band, they all know the song, and it's just like, that's so nice. And all of them were playing, and it kind of goes what I was saying before, at a respectable level, and everyone was in sync. No one was trying to like take the lead or be the star. It was just like it was beautiful music. And I don't know, it just like it was like the right place and the right time, and that was just nice. And I'll come back to that. I'm trying. I kind of have an order of how I want to talk about these things, but like, oh man, parts like that kind of make me feel sad that I cannot enjoy conventions like a regular con goer. Like I would have loved to have not been working and found a nice comfortable chair, close my eyes and listen to the music. I have a thing where my ears are too sensitive to some, I don't know what, I cannot handle loud noise or loud music at all. I get headaches really easily and it kind of overwhelms me a bit. But music on that level, quality music where everyone's in tune, makes me so happy. And that's what I would love. If I go to a convention one day as Bernardo Espanol and I just get to enjoy the con like a regular con goer, I can totally see myself just spending like 20 minutes, a half hour in front of a band like you guys hanging out and just like having a damn good relaxing time. Because it was at the perfect sound level too. So that made me super happy. All right, all right, all right, all right. So that was you, and then this woman. Oh, so this was Stocking from Panty and Stocking. I think this was one of her original outfits. I'm not sure, but this girl was a joy to talk to, and I adored her cosplay. I just wish I could have taken her someplace else, like this, something like this. I want. Oh my god, I would love to do a panty stocking shoot in so many areas. Like one spot would obviously be a lovely garden or a tea place or having something with her with a plethora of snacks on a wonderful table because she loves sweets. I would love that. I also want to take this to a strip club, a male strip club, and have some dudes, so some ripped dudes with like big ass thongs full of cock, just like dancing behind them because they also love men. So having panty and stocking at a male strip club for like a photo shoot would be fire. You could have some dudes gyrating in the back and stuff. I think that would just be so freaking fun. And especially with stocking looking this just lovely. Oh my god. Can you imagine that in a strip club, panty and stocking with some fashion like this rocking and some just dudes twerking in the background would be just hilarious. But this was just like glorious outfit, and she was her makeup was done well. She was super nice and sweet. I really enjoyed shooting her. All right. This is another one of the cosplays that made me happy. Again, armor cosplay that was on point, and the guy was really nice, a bit soft spoken and nervous. I think this was he was. I think I'm sorry for forgetting, but it just made me happy. My throat hurts. I'm sorry. The cosplay was perfection. He was super nice. The dog on his shoulder was super cute. And I again, something I want to shoot like this guy and the dude who almost stabbed me in the neck. Like these two guys, I would want to take to like the nearby church and have them with like a nice stone in the background or a marble area, because it would have worked for the characters. And these I love good armor cosplays, and both these guys were just sensational. I love the interview with them, really did. Again, another person I would like to shoot as time passes, because he was a bit nervous with me and he wasn't used to getting attention. 1 second. What is that sound? Okay. So I don't know. I there's so many people that I meet that are nervous around me the first time. Even you. Like, I'm sure at the next few cons will be more social, more relaxed, and the interviews would go better. And this is another one of those cases where like I want to meet this person again. This was a fun shoot. She was stiff around me. She was nice. And another person that I wish I could redo I could do more shoots, because like when I was shooting her for the photos, obviously, she was very stiff. I love the cosplay. She wore it well. She did it well, but she was nervous around me. But as it went on, it worked really well. But after the interview, then she opened up. And one of the things I sometimes do is after the interview, I do a few more shots, and then they relax, and I get better out of them. But I was really trying to run through and get as many good interviews as I could, so I did not. And again, another talented person that I hope I get to see again in the future. I'm going to clean most of this background up with Photoshop and Lightroom so it'll be better. So there was a main entryway, and then there's an area to the left where you can go to the back. I did a lot of my shoots here later on because it was empty for the most part. And I don't know, it was hard though, because I'm trying to have a clean background, but this has so many things I hate in the background. Like, I never like shooting with something coming out of somebody's head. This is so unprofessional to me. It drives me crazy, like the OCD side of me. And then the two-tone wall bothers me, like, But it's the weird part, like, I'm there for the cosplay interviews, and the photos are secondary. But in the time that I started doing cosplay interviews, I've become a bit of a photographer and a bit of a perfectionist. And a while ago, I was okay with doing okay photos and good interviews. And then I started doing better and better with photos. And now I think I take damn good photos. I think I'm a good photographer. But you work with what you have, and the location wasn't great. And, like, I got to get it done. But, like, so many people, I wish I could just take you all to, like, a better backdrop. Like, huge fantasy. Huge fantasy. One day I get big enough where Otakon gives me a little bit of a space where I can shoot cosplayers and I have various backdrops I can pull down for them, and then we can do interviews and I can just make everyone look their best. That's another dream. Okay. Another case of she was a sensational cosplay. She was so nice, but she was so shy around me. And again, she opened up later. But I love the cosplay. It's all sorts of crazy out there, like the anime characters I love with the giant gun, the super decorated thing, and long hair. She was sensational. But for the initial shoot, it was a bit stiff, and I hope to see her again because I would love to shoot her cosplays when she's more relaxed with me. And I'm pretty sure I understand why, because again, I think I saw some dudes trying to creep on her later on at the con. So it's like, it's so frustrating. Give me one moment. All right. So let's see. Okay. I was hanging out with them. The last time I got interviewed, they made fun of me on Boss. Fuck them. I hate when they do that. I fucking hate when people do that at cons. That's another thing that happens. I'm sorry that happened to you, man. I'm really sorry that happened to you. There are a bunch of just assholes who go to cons to make fun of the con goers there. I hate when people do that. I really do. Last year, I spoke to a few people at Otakon, and they were telling me that there were some other people doing interviews and asking the worst sort of questions and just trying to get them flustered, get them to say stupid shit on camera. And, oh, those guys deserve to get punched in the face, at least, because, like, that's so fucked up. And then to, like, interview somebody and, like, and to then, like, break them down on something like that, that's just so fucked up. That's so messed up. Because you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what the hell, like, how do I say this? Or you probably, I don't know if you were here for this, but I had like a rant earlier about like people who don't take care of themselves or had bad breath and all that. And I didn't call them out, and I would not call them out. And there's some people that I just generally did not like, and they're not getting in it. I like, sometimes I'll either kill the interview midway, or if they're just some either nasty before or after, or sort of like just like weird, I just won't share it. Like, I won't give them the thing. But then if people look or sound bad, I think you might have heard this before, I just don't share it. And sometimes people say things they shouldn't say on camera, and I either edit it out or just don't share the interview, because the last thing I want to do is be responsible for ruining somebody's day or making somebody cry or somebody killing themselves or something. So again, I want to put people in the best possible light. And I think a bunch of cons recently started doing better work, a better job of like stopping fake press from how do I say this, coming in to just like make fun of its community. But there's still work to be done. But the other problem is you have so many non-press people show up trying to be press, and I get it as someone who started off and had to do it this way too. But you got a bunch of people who come on and go there and ask salacious questions or some like fucked up questions, or just again use it to try to get pussy, and it's just like, oh god, you don't know what you're. It's so frustrating. Oh my god. Ugh, I really hate, and it's very common. It's super common. All right, so this was another bundle of joy and energy that needed a better spot, and this woman was just a sweetie. She was just a sweetie. She did a perfect job with the character. I'm gonna have a few. How do I say this? I would love to shoot her again. But how do I say? She started off. This is a fun one where she started off nervous with me, and then quickly opened up and was quickly down for doing new things and like quickly down for chatting. And she was a great speaker. She's a lawyer in real life. She was a great speaker. She was like really energetic. She was very well spoken. It's pretty much like 100% for me as a cosplayer for like interviews and stuff. And her wig is perfect, and like she's really great. And yeah, I look forward to shooting her at the con. But this is one of those cases, and this isn't her fault, but this happens with a few of the interviews that I've done. I feel that I didn't get many good pictures of her, and sometimes it happens where I meet a great cosplayer and we do a photo shoot, and I'm just not happy with the shots, and I don't know why. Like it's just not there, and like she's trying her best, I'm trying. The situation could be weird, I don't know, but like I think this is a set where I'm like, I want to come back to this, and it frustrates me because in theory that doesn't matter. In theory, I'm here for the interview, and the interview was wonderful. She was a very wonderful person, but because she's so wonderful, I feel like she deserves better shots, and it always bothers me when I feel like I let them down by not doing a good enough job. I let myself down. And yeah, like this pose here, I couldn't get it quite right. Like this is a fine shot, but then sometimes I hate a series of shots with somebody, and then I come back to it and I edit it. I'm like, this is a nice shot. I did a good job. So hopefully I get some fire. I get some good stuff with her when it comes to editing. But oh my God, there's sometimes I finish a shoot and an interview, I'm like, it just not quite right, and it bothers me because I don't know. I want every interview to be a great interview. You know what I'm saying? I want every interview to be packed full of great shots. And I've done quite a few videos on the channel where the interview's fine, it's good, it's honest and authentic, but the shots aren't that good, I think, and it kind of bothers me. All right. What do you have here? This was a weird one for me. The cosplay is perfection. This was an okay interview, but maybe it's because he's dying of heat in there, but the energy just wasn't there in the interview, I think. And the people he had with him didn't seem like they wanted to be there, and it was weird having that energy. And I feel like I kept hearing like remarks where they weren't happy that I was interviewing him, and they weren't happy that it was this many people around, and it just kind of made things awkward. And then when you shoot someone in a cosplay like this, it's hard because, how do I say this? I'm press. I should be able to shoot people without too many people getting in the way. And I know in conventions everyone wants a shot, but I have to, when I interview people, say, hey, note, he has to come over here. He said, yes, we're doing an interview. So I have to like bring the person to a spot to do it, and then shoot them, and then clear people out. And there's so many people who want to get shots. They'll get in my way. They'll push me. This happened last year. I had to like yell at a guy who like pushed into me, almost knocked me over as I was shooting this cosplayer. Even the cosplayer was like, what the fuck are you doing? And like, yo, what? And I got mad at him. What? You don't do that. Stop. And then I remember seeing that guy's shots. He did that a few of my interviews until I yelled at him. And oh my God, it pisses me off so much having to deal with people who do that, because it's rude, it's respectful, it's dangerous. And I was trying to shoot this person. I remember I had to shoot a bunch of, like, we're doing an interview, give a space. And then people were like, can I get a shot? So I'm like, but let me just get a shot. Like, no. And then his handlers seemed like they were getting upset with me. Like, I'm sorry, he said yes. And they kept commenting, oh, it's not a big deal. I don't know why he's doing this. And it's like, guys, I'm trying to give your friend exposure. And he said yes to this. And I asked them, hey, do me a favor, and can you please make sure, make sure no one walks in. Like, yeah, we'll do it. Didn't do it. I'm like, so that bothered me. And then there was this guy. There's a thing people have been doing now where they have service dogs, but they're not service dogs. They're just assholes who want to take their pets with them everywhere. And there's this guy with, I think, this yellow lab who had a service dog with him that did not behave like a freaking service dog. And this jackhole was kind of bumping into me, and his dog was next to me. And I was like, and I thought I got away, and I moved. And then at one point, as I'm shooting and doing shots, I see a gimbal with a cell phone getting further and further into my shot, and the guy was just doing this in front of me. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, what are you? And as I move over, I bump into his dog and almost step on the dog's foot. And then I just kind of barked at him like, dude, what is wrong with you? You're going to get your dog stepped on. Do not do this. You bring a dog in here, make sure he's okay. You are the gimbal getting into my shot, not even paying attention to where he's at? What is wrong with you? He's like, I'm just trying to get a shot. No. Dogs can get hurt, like especially their poor pawsies. Like, had I stepped on that dog's foot, who knows the damage my fat ass could have done to it. But they also react really badly. What if he like started biting me or freaking out at the con and stuff? You don't know. What if he bit somebody else? We don't know. And I always get mad enough with like fake people doing fake service dogs, but to bring it into a packed con and to take it into a packed area, especially packed area, because a lot of people are trying to do shoots, and to just kind of let it. And then I saw him later on. The dog was just like kind of walking through people. It's like, fucking asshole. So this shoot and interview's tainted because of that. And there was a few other guys who were like kind of pushing into me so they can get their shot. I'm like, oh my god, children, you need to fucking stop. Really, really upset me. So yeah, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna air this one because I don't know. We'll see. But I think I got good shots of him. We'll see. Let's see. Give me 1 second here. I think I'm missing some chat. Thanks, man. I totally get the music. Thank you for understanding. I try to be considerate about it when I play. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You guys hanging out with one of my friends joined the group. Awesome. Last time I got to meet you, they made fun of me at Anime Boss. Okay, we talked about that. That's really messed up. I think I met that Astorius at Anime Bosses. Sad I missed him here. Agreed. Even in a casual con atmosphere, there's a minimum level of professionalism in what you do. There's so many people who... you're dealing with people, you're dealing with crowds, you're dealing with a lot of young people, so they're jerks. But yeah, having patience is an acquired skill. And I have to remind myself to calm the angry Puerto Rican down and just let a lot of stuff slide. But that interview and like all that happening, there's some more BS that happened like before, during, and after the interview that I'm like, oh, just seeing the photo kind of just like irks me. All right, so this kid, he was fun. This was how do I say this? How do I say this? This is part of the beauty of cosplay for me. So there's so many people who do conventions, and they do it in a way that is just stupid, where they kill themselves to try to do the very best cosplay, and that's beyond their means, or they stress themselves out. They don't sleep, and it's stupid because they like you're supposed to enjoy this, but they're miserable at the cons. There are people who are like, and there are some weird gatekeeping nut jobs who are like, you can only cosplay this character if you know it, otherwise you're faking it. And there are people like this guy who's just having fun. And some of my favorite people I met at convention, the best people, the people I would take over the professional, the high end, the armor builds, are people like him. People who are just there to have a good time. This is some Alibaba store-bought cosplay. He barely knows anything about the character. He just kind of wanted to get into. He just kind of wanted to build a big product. Like, I just wanted to build something big. I didn't care who. I think he said that someone suggested this, and he saw that. I want to build that, and that's it. And that's it. And God, I wish he ironed that. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. But he was just having a damn good time. And he was new to cosplay. I think he just got into anime and cosplay and all this other stuff. And just a young guy there, not taking it seriously. And I felt like this was the perfect thing I needed after that last shoot that I did, interview, because it's just like a palate cleanser. Just someone's positive energy just rubbing off on me. And just like, yeah, this is what it's about. And he didn't take cosplay seriously. He wasn't like, I don't really know I don't have a dream cosplay. Maybe I'll paint, but I don't know. I don't really care about that. I just want to be able to make fun big things. It's like, you know what? Good. You enjoy this your own way, and you have your best time at doing it. And that made me happy. And then later on, he's like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to do this Zhongli. He didn't even say the name right. He didn't even know the character. He's like, oh, I got this cut. He didn't, when he told me about it, he didn't say the name right, or the game it was from right. But apparently he was doing Zhongli from Genshin Impact. And I saw him the next day, and he built the giant meteor, Zhongli uses. And he was so happy to have me take pictures of him. And he was so happy there walking around his big ass meteor. And his cosplay did not fit him right. It like every time he did this, his shirt came out and his belly was showing, and it is like, but you saw the smile on his face, and it was infectious. I took like a few shots, but honestly, the outfit didn't fit him right, nor was it on him properly. So I don't think I'm gonna share the photo from the next day because he just doesn't look good in it. And like I said before, I don't want to make people look bad. Although when I saw him in it, he reminded me of an adorable happy kid in an ill-fitting suit. I was like, oh, that's cute. And that was that. So this kid was a joy. Oh my God. All right. This is another case of someone who was unbelievably nervous to shoot with me. I think I've seen her and afterward getting hit on by some guys, so I kind of get it. She's probably a guy with a camera. God knows what kind of creep I am. But this is another example of a cosplayer that I hope to see in the future. Because toward the end of the interview, she opened up a lot more. And she was like just more relaxed with me. And she really appreciated the questions I asked and how the interview went. And she was like a wonderful person. But this is another example of like, I feel like I didn't get the best that I could out of her. And she was nervous when we started shooting. And I play every photo shoot / cosplay interview by ear. And I try not to push people too much unless I think they could take it. And with her, I needed, I would say, another 10 to 15 minutes of shooting time to really work with her on poses and try to get the best possible angles. And then we're working with difficult lighting, and I think at this point it got very busy at the con. So it's a challenging situation. And again, the pictures are good enough, but she deserves better, and I wish I could take her to a better location because this cosplay was beautiful and she was wonderful, and I want to do more for her. And I hope to see her again, and hopefully she remembers me, and hopefully she remembers I didn't try to like creep on her or anything, but she has fond memories of the interview. So then if we shoot again, when we shoot again, hopefully, she's more relaxed and okay, I can do this, I'm ready for you now. And that's an interesting thing because I see people some years after year like, oh hey hey Nardio, I'm ready for you now. It's like they may have seen the interview. They 1 second, hey baby, Jazz, yeah? Can you feed the babies? So there's some people that I've shot before. Do you mind feeding the cats? Do you mind feeding the cats?
What about the cats?
Do you mind feeding them, please?
Oh, feeding them.
There's some people that I've shot before who were like, again, the first time I shot them, they were reserved. And then they see the photos and they see the interview, and they're like, yeah. And then sometimes like, hey, you're gonna be the next con, like, yeah, and I'd love to shoot with you. And then they're there, they're pumped up, they're ready, they're like, yeah, I get to shoot this guy again. It's like, it's such a wonderful feeling. It's validating. It's so fun and nice. I feel appreciated, and that's like a huge thing. And I really, really, really hope to get that with her, because I would say like a diamond in the rough. Like I'm sure I can get a lot better out of her. Just a second. See the guy with the meteor? He was the guy with the meteor. Wanted to get a picture with him, but never got a chance. Yeah, it's a weird part when people are like have something like that. They're really busy. Let me see if I have the Zhongli one. I think it was like end of the day on Saturday. Okay, there he is there. Oh yeah, so here's some of the shots that I did. I don't know, I want to shoot her again. I know I can do better. Skip. Definitely gotta skip that. I was trying to find a Zhongli one. Okay, so this is night. This is the next day. I think it's after these guys. Oh, here we go. Here he is. Here he is in his massive prop. That thing was silly. It was so cool. It's so freaking cool. Oh god, I hate being sick. Oh, there he is in that massive, awesome prop of his. Oh, this was fun. It was nice seeing him the next day. All right, where were we? This young goddess. So she was Venti Barbatos from Genshin Impact. She had these massive wings. Again, someone I wish I shot someplace else. And I wish I got her at the start of the con at 10 a.m. when it was a lot emptier. So at this point, it was Saturday. And what happened was, from what I was told, the registration, the badge pickup line, for a variety of reasons, things went wrong, and there was a massive backup. So they had to start redirecting people around the con. So if you wanted to go to Artist Alley, you had to make a massive line through the main area, and then down this hallway where I was shooting, and it was kind of crazy. And then there was a woman who was like the security guard from the official convention security showed up, and lovely woman. She explained to me that this area had to be clear because the line was going through it to get to Artist Alley, and we couldn't block the main path. Excuse me. And I politely asked her if there was an area where the line was, and then there was this area here where we're doing, like, I'm shooting her, and then so this is like where I would so this is where I shot a lot of people, or to the right, and right here is where I would set up my camera and interview them this way. And that was so you didn't get this massive line in the background. And some people I deal with at these events, security, hired security, otherwise, they will not budge at all. Like, and I could politely explain to someone, hey, I'd love to do, I understand what you're doing, and I do my best not to be in your way. In fact, I promise I will not be. But can I do X here out of your way? And a lot of times it's, fuck you, no, get the fuck out. It's like, not here. This woman is like, she was stressed because there were thousands of people who were just like coming by in this massive line that lasted a few hours to go to the artist alley. And I'm like, excuse me, I'm here as press, and I promise I'm not trying to mess up your day and make anything harder for you. But see this line, how it's like it. Let's say this is the hallway, and the line cut here. I said, if the line's going here, can I please utilize this empty space here to keep shooting? I promise you we will not get in the way of the line at all, and I'm just going to be pointing in this way. I will not get in your way, and if you have an issue with me, please let me know, and I will do my best not to. And she's like, so you're just going to do this one? Like, no, I'm going to be doing several. I'm going to keep bringing people back here, but it's up to you if I can do it. So if I can come back, I'll ask you every time I bring somebody here, can I please keep doing this? She says, and if I can't, I will say okay, and I will get out of your hair. She's like, all right, baby, you're fine. Just as long as you stay out of the way, you're fine, baby. And I'm like, thank you so much. I wanted to hug her because I think that was one of the first times that weekend I dealt with security, and I've just got somebody who was understanding. And then she was like cheering me on as I was doing some shoots and all that, and it was interesting. It was really interesting because as I was doing these interviews, I put all my hope and faith into the microphone that I have to work properly, because the mic I have is really good about drowning out background noise. It's really good. I mean, this thing cost me fucking a lot of money, but it's really, 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 really good about just isolating who's speaking. So not only was that line passing through, but she was shouting, everybody, go down here for the line. Everybody, you artist alley this way. Keep moving, don't stand here, keep moving. Like, top of her lungs. And then there's another guard from the building who was there, and he brought a massive speaker out, and he was yelling sometimes into the speaker, this is the line to Artist Alley. If you want to go here, you have to go through this line. And that was all in the background. And I'm like, oh God, fuck, how am I going to do interviews with all this stuff in the noise? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put my hope in my mic, because the other areas outside became full of people, and I didn't want to get yelled at by staff, or I just didn't want to get in the way. So this was the best I could hope for. So I shot a bunch of interviews and did a bunch of photos here while these thousands of people kept passing by. And this is one of the cosplayers that I found. So this woman was in the center of the convention entry area, and she had a deserved crowd of people lined around her because she's gorgeous. And then she's in this wonderful cosplay that's like spot on. She's doing all the venti poses, all these angelic things, and she was just like glorious. And then she was super sweet to talk to. And then I begged for an interview. She said yeah. And one thing that irked me was she's such a trusting person. Like, she had her cell phone on a tripod recording her as all this happened for herself, maybe social media. But then she had her wallet and her purses there. And again, I'm from New York City. I'm used to not trusting anyone, any place, and knowing everyone could rob and kill me. So, and then I've been to a lot of conventions, and I've seen a lot of cosplayers getting robbed. They put their stuff down for a second, and a lot of people are from areas where bad things don't happen, or God knows common sense is not available, where they just, oh, I'll leave my cell phone here and then walk 30 feet with me. I'm like, no, you pick that thing up. And I've had it where I would kind of almost bark on someone, grab your stuff or let me grab it, and we'll do the interview, we'll do the shots here. And then later on, and like, oh, you don't need to do, we can leave it here. I'm like, no, we can't. Take it, and then we shoot. And then later on in the con, I see them, where's my bag? Oh, where's my wallet? And they're freaking out. Why? Because they didn't think anything bad could happen. And that's happened a few times. Anyway, so this young goddess was a joy to shoot. The only hard thing was the location and then the time. So this was when the line was at its peak. There were so many people coming down the hallway, and her wings are ungodly huge, and sadly they don't bend. I wish she had wings that kind of could articulate, or the remote control ones, because if she had more control of them, it would have been a lot easier to shoot her. And then we were dealing with a very tricky light situation. I shoot natural light. One, because I hate flash strobes, it gives me headaches. But two, it's just faster. and it was going between super bright and cloudy, super bright and cloudy. So we're kind of working with the light, and then it was very busy, and some people started getting even kind of closer to where we're shooting, and then people kept wanting to get shots of her because she was so glorious while we shot, and I had to keep shooing them away. It was kind of a pain, but I would happily shoot her again. I would happily to cover her costume. She was a joy to work with. She knew her poses, but again, we were in a location where I couldn't get the most out of her because there was so much going on, and it's like you had a supermodel and you're shooting her, doing a photo shoot with her in like a crackhead-filled ghetto. That's the juxtaposition for me, where she's such an image of perfection and beauty and just like craftsmanship in this cluttered area, and the con wasn't good enough for her in the space, and I want to come back and shoot her again. So yeah. These kids made me happy. So there was a Sister of Battle and a Skatari Mechanicus cosplayers around, and anytime I get C40K stuff, it makes me happy because these are so intricate. And she was so passionate and excited. And apparently she's one of my followers on YouTube and watches my videos. Sorry. And she was just a joy to shoot. There's the other cosplayer, sorry, I've been wanting to shoot a Mechanicus cosplayer, and I finally got one, and I was so happy. And I look forward to this one. All right, so a little bit of TNA here. All right, so this was the Tatsumaki cosplayer from earlier, and now she's done the Kill la Kill cosplay, and this was a fun shoot for me. I normally tend to avoid shooting cosplayers where there's a lot of TNA, because again, I don't want to be kind of socially branded as a creeper, but I always wanted to shoot this cosplay. And to have a tall, gorgeous woman do this so perfectly that and then she and I kind of clicked during the con, and then she actually found me and then waited for me with her group of friends as I shot a few other people for me to shoot her and interview her. And the interview kind of went kind of quick because I think I was kind of like, I wasn't feeling well a little bit before I started talking to her, but we started cracking jokes and kind of just hanging out for a second, which was kind of fun. Made me relax. And then she's like, "You want to shoot?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And then she started getting really putting it out there, kind of getting sultry. I'm like, "All right, you want to do this? Let's do this." So we just started doing a bunch of shoots, and we did a bunch of fun risque poses. And I'm still giggling because at one point she's like, "Am I making you nervous?" I just laughed. Like, no, trust me, this is so tame. And I really pushed the envelope of what I normally do at a con. But I also find myself kind of sad that I would like to do better, because she's all about doing fun, risque, kind of raunchy stuff like this, and I want to shoot that, but it's about finding the right person. And I think she and I can make some just really fire shots. And she's so fun, she's so nice, she's well spoken, she's everything I want in a cosplayer to shoot with. So hopefully I run into her at other conventions. I would love to cover her content. If she was local, I'd be doing modeling shots with her around the city, because she's also gorgeous and she's great. She's just great, and she's super tall, and she just owned this cosplay, owned the energy. I love that she had the dollar bills and the thing. It was just hilarious. I got a bunch of fun photos like this, and yeah, this is that. And I hope I don't get in trouble for this one. But YouTube shares other things that's much more there's less clothing than this, but. All right, that was so much fun. All right, these two kids, they were fun. These are lifelong besties who were cosplaying together, and it was great because they were both outgoing. Sometimes I run into cosplayers who do this sort of thing, and they're just one's the outgoing one, the other one's more well-spoken. But it's actually kind of rare where I have two that are both outspoken, well-spoken, enthusiastic, and I see a lot of buddy cosplays, but sometimes it's like the one buddy who's in charge, the other buddy who's kind of going along with it. And here it was just kind of beautiful because they were just both into it, like, and really dug it. And they both gave such great answers. I think it's one of my longer interviews, and I really hope to shoot with them again. They're great. They were just great. Although, let's see, this one, I forgot the name. This one, at the end of her interview, she's like, oh, and then she said something to the effect of cleanse or the smell, and she pulled some mint air freshener out and aimed it at me, and I was like, oh, wait, do I smell? Does my breath stink? And because I've been very worried about that, because I told you I ran into some people with she's like, no, like, you can let me know, because like, she's like, no, and then she's like, oh, no, I'm sorry. Apparently this character has a thing about spraying himself with like disinfectant around, because he doesn't want like I don't know, other people's sickness getting to him or something, I forget. And she just let me know, it's a joke, like, oh, okay. All right. Okay, so this is a kid. I think she's still in high school. Her parents gave her permission to shoot me and gave me permission to shoot her. And she was just adorable. She was just like a bundle of positive, adorable energy. And I just finished reading My Hero Academia that day. So I wanted to shoot a Deku. I really wanted to shoot a Deku. So this is the only one I found. Oh, that did not feel good. Oh my god, I've been talking for a while. Like 3 hours. But she was a bundle of joy. I'd happily shoot her again. And I found it beautiful that her parents took her to a con. I think her dad was con staff. And I got a shot. I did an interview. I'm not sure if I'm going to air it, though, because she's baby. Then again, I got her parents' blessing for it, so she might be looking forward to it. But we'll see. I'll see. I'm torn on this one. I mean, she doesn't say anything bad. She doesn't give anything personal away. She's not wearing anything salacious. But, I don't know. All right, so this girl was fun. She was wearing like a sexy Virgil outfit from Devil May Cry. And I've been wanting to shoot her. I kept seeing her around the comic. I kind of want to shoot her, but she was always busy. She had fans and creepers, like, to, taking pictures. And later on, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ask her if she was down for it. And this woman was just fun. This is somebody I could see myself, like, that fun friend, that friend you could have who's like, okay, let's go do some fun, stupid stuff. The conversation was on that level of just kind of, she's having a great time. Again, she's another one of those cosplayers, like, I'm just here to have a good time and have fun. And when we were chatting it up after the interview ended, she's like, you got to come to these cons. You should come hang out with me at, what is it, ALA or it's one of the party cons. Like, you got to come to these cons. They're party cons. You like to party? I'm like, I'm okay with partying, but she's like, no, you should come on. She's like inviting me out to like go hang and like do these events. Just like, and then I saw her with a bunch of her friends and stuff, and they're all just like these happy-go-lucky, positive, I just want to be at this con to be like have fun people, and it was beautiful. She was a bundle of fun. This is another one, though, where I feel like I couldn't get the shots quite right. Like, even here with the sword, there's something like, okay, this sword needed to be here. Like, let's say the center of this sword needed to be here. Or because so she's more informed because she's kind of hidden by the sword, but it's also kind of a good feature point. There's another one where I feel like I just didn't get the right angles, and I hope to shoot with her again and do better. But absolute joy. All right, so this, you okay, Mochi? Oh, you're playing Rocky. Oh, why are you scared of him? Oh. I have 4 cats, and only one of them wants to be social with everybody, and the rest are like, leave me the fuck alone. And it's annoying because we were all hoping the cats would love each other, and it did not turn out the case. So this picture, excuse me, kind of pisses me off and kind of excites me at the same time. Let me explain. So this was at like 7 o'clock at night, maybe 8 o'clock at night. the light was for the most part gone at the con, but I wanted to get more content. Let's see, what number is this? This is my 34th interview. I wanted to get way more, but the light wasn't with me. And I saw this guy in his glorious cosplay, actually a good fitting suit, handsome young man, very clean cosplay, everything's ironed right. He looks great for what he's trying to do. I don't know what he's doing. I thought it was One Piece, and I was right. But it was dark. But I'm like, I want more content, and I love his cosplay. So I took a chance and just pumped my ISO, because I normally don't push my camera that hard. So ISO is pretty much, how do I explain this? It kind of controls, you can artificially add more light to your photo, but some cameras can handle it and some can't. My camera can handle it, but I'm just not in the habit of using it because I just don't shoot in low light that often. And of all the low light things to shoot, this guy is a horrific one to shoot because of this hat. Now, as you can see here, it normally casts a good shadow here. So what I tried to do with him was position him in just the right way where there was enough light spilling forward toward him to kind of fill that light. But as you can see up here, 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 and here, it's like drop down lighting. There's a word, it's like spotlighting. And the convention center is an odd space because the lighting is very different all around the convention center. Some spots have so much artificial fill light, it's like daytime all the time. But the problem with those spaces is that there's not that many cosplayers around there. So it's kind of a nightmare trying to like get people there at night to do shots. And again, dragging people across the convention is just like, it's hard to do. A lot of people aren't willing to walk because they're tired, and then there's so many people who want to stop for shots. And the more I keep telling no to people, the more I come off as an asshole, and it kind of puts off some cosplayers as I'm shooting. So anyway, this guy was so awesome looking that I took a chance and said, you know what, I'm going to try to shoot this. And I did my best to just like bring out everything I knew about my camera. I raised the ISO, I dropped the shutter speed, because we weren't doing action shots, we're doing posy shots. So I think I had my shutter speed to a lower thing. Let's see if I have info on this. Okay, 1/200th a second. So normally I like to at minimum do 1/250th of a second. But here I lowered it to 200th, and since he was staying still was fine. I probably could have dropped it down to 100 and still been fine. But again, Rocky, do not eat. Stop it. I could have pushed my camera harder, and it pisses me off because I love it because I got some, I think, great shots in a badly lit situation, and this gives me hope that I can shoot more interviews later and have them look good. I think last year at Otakon, at one point there was a big thunderstorm, and it was weird. It was just like middle of the day, but then like it just like a storm came, knocked down signs and trees. It was black outside, and then it left. But while it was black, I ran into like 5 freaking amazing cosplayers, and I did shoots, but I didn't have my settings quite right. So the shots are kind of meh to me. And I didn't really want to do that again. But then this now makes me like, man, I can probably push my camera. And next year at Otakon, I know I could bring cosplayers to this area. And as long as I'm careful with how I set it up, like I did with this guy, I can record content until like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Think about all the content I could get. Like more people I like to highlight, be more productive, hit my dream of like 100 interviews in a weekend. I can do this now. I'm like, yes. I'm also pissed off though because after this, I was also exhausted. My feet were killing me. This is the last interview I did of the night, and I thought this isn't gonna come out good. I'm just wasting my time. 1 second. So I gave it my best. I shot him, and then I ran into this other cosplayer, and I didn't even think the light was good enough to give her an interview, and she really wanted one, and I felt bad because she was such a sweetie. And she was so happy I shot and interviewed her before. And I promised I'm going to interview you and again in your next cosplay. You can tell me all about it. And they're like, no, the light's gone. We can't do it. And I feel like such an asshole now because her face she got sad. I'm like, no, the light's not here. Because she was looking forward to shooting with me. And I said no. And I feel like such an asshole. Oh, I feel like such a jerk over that. But I'm looking at these photos now. And I looked at the interview at least on my phone, on my phone, on my camera, and it looks like the light was fine. The light was fine. So again, this pisses me off because looking back on it now, because I didn't need to stop here. I could have pushed my body and pushed the camera and stayed up even later getting more content, and I didn't. I gave up, and I'm mad at myself. But I'm happy because I got a great photo and a great interview. And that's the end of Saturday night. All right, no chatty. Okay, no, actually, this is the end of Saturday night. So this kid on the left is Evan, and he told me he was there with his new girlfriend and this woman here to the right. And I feel bad because I told him, hey, find me on Saturday, or like I'll see you on Saturday, and I'll try to get some better couple shots of you two, because this light's not that great. And this is what I was telling you about before, like this con has weird lighting. This is the same drop down lighting, but look at the shadows. How much worse the shadows are on their face. Like, it doesn't have the same bounce light as the other one. I don't know, it just didn't work as well. In this location, this is kind of where I shot before. The light was very difficult. And yeah. He's such a nice guy. I had a great time interviewing last year, and I was hoping to get a better couple shot. And then on Saturday, I think I saw them once. On a Sunday, I saw them once, but they were like they were like swamped by other people, so I didn't like bother them for an interview. But I feel bad. I really wish I got another interview with him because he's awesome. And like I would love to have done a couple cosplay interview because I love couple cosplay interviews, as you know. So I believe that is not the last shot of the night. There's actually some other person I shot, but again, I told you and I told her that like it's too late. I don't think I can get like a good interview, and now I regret it. So I can show you, because her cosplay was really nice and she was a sweetheart. Her. So this okay. And the other reason I didn't do the interview, besides the light, but you could see the problem with the light here, right? Like the massive shadows. But also this is the cosplay, and my camera has been acting up autofocus wise, and I didn't think at some especially low light situation, I was missing focus a lot. So I didn't think the interview, I don't know if the interview would have worked out quite well, especially with something covering her face as much. Maybe we could have focused on me, and if we're in the same plane, it would have worked with the focus. Maybe but I don't know if I could have done I don't know, that I just did another interview. Who knows? I regret not doing this. I really do, because she was such a sweetheart. I really hope I get to shoot her again. But that's the last photo of Saturday, and now we are on Sunday morning, and I came across this adorable couple cosplay. And these two were a hoot. So if you were here from the beginning, sorry, it's going on for a while. I talked about couple cosplays I love, and I complained about couples that I hate. Like the unsupportive, not there for each other bullshit I saw a lot over the weekend. This couple was the former, the happy, the loving, the good couple cosplay. This might actually be the feature image. Let me see if I could... Sorry guys, my throat is killing me. Alright, well, maybe I'll make that the feature image for YouTube. Obviously I gotta edit it. This is still... I didn't even do anything with this. Yeah, anyway, okay. So let me go back here. Where is it? All right. So this, I forgot the name of this anime, forgive me. Golden Kamui, something like that. Two characters, and size-wise this works is I think they're around the same height for the characters. And they're like, okay, let's do some funny shots. I'm like, you know what? I want you to use her head as a way to brace the gun. And they loved the idea. They started laughing when I started doing it. And then I have another shot with them later on. They were my first interview of the day, and thank God they were, because this is what I needed to start the day. I needed a good interview. And I was actually hesitant to talk to them because they were both sitting at a table looking dejected and upset. And I'm like, oh God. I always hate going up to people who are in a bad mood and trying to do a cosplay interview because obviously it's so hard. But the minute I'm like, hey, excuse me, do you mind if I'm like, let me ask. And I'm like, excuse me, do you mind if I get a few I'm here as press. Do you mind if I get a few shots? They're like, oh, yeah, let's go. And just turned on. And then it was just wonderful. They were great. So great first shoot of the day. They were I loved them. I loved them both. They were so nice. They're talented. Their cosplays are beautiful. They were both up for anything photo-wise. They generally liked each other. They were just like, it was a happy, all-around amazing time. I hope I keep running into these two. This was sensational. And I needed that. I really needed that. Like, first thing on Sunday morning, and I was also carrying my book bag, so my back was killing me. My feet were killing me. Okay. And sadly, for Sunday, I didn't get any other interviews, I don't think. This is it. Actually, I think I came across, I think I photographed another female cosplayer with another piece of shit husband or boyfriend who just was not into it, and I don't think I interviewed them because it was just so awkward. So that put me in a bit of a bad mood. Then I ran into this glorious couple, and she's beautiful, beautiful cosplay, wonderful details, and just like another case of them both kind of looking meh. She kind of almost looked upset, I think. But then when I asked for photos, she's like, oh, yeah, let's go. And she's very happy and well-spoken, outgoing. And then her husband, like, so bubbly and happy and proud that she was having photos taken. And he kept like, fixing her details and helping her with this, helping her with that. And he was just there for her. And that warmed my black little heart. Like, it's so nice seeing couples who love each other, seeing genuine affection and support, and every time he'd like help her with something, she'd be a little happy that he's helping. And then every time, and he was good about spotting things that needed fixing, and he cared and he was supportive, and whatever she needed, and it was just great. And we just had a good old chat before, during, and after the interview. Just wonderful, lovely people. I hope I see them both from now on regularly at cons, because if I could have regular cosplayers who show up and are happy and there and not exhausted and not drained and not like in a negative space, or not crazy. God, there's so much crazy. Like, I ran into several people I know who are old enough to know better. But then again, I can't complain because I also fuck around. I barely sleep. But a bunch of the people I knew were just wrecked at this con. And I think at first I was a bit too upset by this, but then I got to think about it, like, this is their de-stress weekend. Of course they're gonna party, or maybe they just really wanted to get, really push themselves and they didn't sleep before the con. Excuse me. But it's also kind of worrying for me because, like, I care about some of these people. So when they show up either lacking sleep or haven't, like, just kind of like they're not taking care of themselves, it upsets me. And that happened with like 8 people. But if I can happily get like just a bunch, I used to have this in some New York City cons and New Jersey cons, but a bunch of them moved away from cosplay. But I want a regular group of people I shoot who I could almost count on seeing to make me happy. Nato, who was in chat, I don't know if you're still here, buddy, but Nato's like, he and his wife, or like every time I see them, I'm happy. There's a few couples that I see at cons, or a few just people I meet at cons, like, that just make me happy. And I could just chat with, and they're like the positive beacons of, I don't know, energy for me, and that kind of keeps me going. Although the downside of that is that I feel I could never really give them the time they want. Like, a few people want to hang, but I can't. I'm so busy at cons, and I feel so guilty. And then when I'm free and I'm lonely, or I want to chit chat with somebody, everyone's going about their thing, so it just doesn't work out. But it would be nice if I could get. I need a paper towel. It would be nice if I could get some more awesome people, the people you heard me gush about today, to be regulars at my cons, just for me. Just for me. Because that positivity is just infectious, and it's just what I need in my life. And it helps me get through the cons of working and doing all this other stuff. And then some of the really good ones, the really great crafters, are just a joy, because every time I see them, I'm like, wow, wow, you are amazing, and you're still amazing. I don't know, I want more of that. All right. Well, I've been going for like over 3 hours, so I'm sorry if you guys are bored or anything. Now, I wanted to talk about this one real quick. This one made me so happy. There's something called idle space at Otakon, and I thought by reading it, like, okay, so is this where the idols are going to meet and hang out? And I think I went by Friday, and when I walked by, it was closed. And Saturday, I believe, I went, it was open, and like, so I asked this woman, I forget her name, and I feel bad because she was just, I loved her. She's so sweet, so the positive energy. She wanted to be there, and she was perfect for her role. So the idle space wasn't idle space. Oh yeah, that's it for the cosplay interviews. I'm done with everyone so far. So at conventions, idols are interesting. They're interesting creatures for me, because much like the musicians, there you have these talented people who want to set up anywhere and everywhere and like perform. And much like musicians, some are good, some are horrible, and they can add to the con or detract from the con. And it's so weird, because idols can, it's a positive group, although for some reason, from what I understand from the idol space, there's a whole bunch of infighting and bitterness and jealousy and BS. But at conventions, it's always nice to see all these young women in these wonderfully, beautifully made cosplays. Some they make themselves, some they buy, but the creativity of the community and the craftsmanship they have, you can't tell the difference. Like, I've seen some, like, oh no, that's store-bought because that looks too good. But when you look on their profiles, they've built this from scratch. And like, some of the very best cosplayers, the best craftsmen, the best sewers, are idol cosplayers. Like, they are good. They make some beautiful outfits. And I love seeing them at cons, but it's also weird because I kind of rank them with the TNA cosplays, the tits and ass, trying to get attention that way, or like the OnlyFans cosplayers, because of the attention they bring. I find a lot of the creepiest, and I mean creepiest, guys out there are like flies to honey with idol cosplayers. And I find myself loath to shoot them because of this. Because a majority of them, rightly so, have an almost disgusted level of aversion to any man who shows up with a camera. So anytime I try to get pictures, like they recoil. They look at me with like just disgust and fear and revulsion. Like, oh God, another one of those. And that hurts. That actually hurts. Because, like, you know, I'm not a creeper. I'm not trying to hit on you. I just think you're pretty and you did a great job and you guys are doing a great performance. I like to capture that. And like, oh, no thanks. Watch out for him. It's like, fuck. And so by even talking to some of them, sometimes I get like murmurs go around and pointed fingers start happening. Like, all right, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck all that shit. But then again, they also attract all sorts of like creepy weirdos and just like guys who don't get it. Hey, it's going well. I'm going at near 4 hours of talking about how it went. So yeah, TLDR, it went well. If you want to know more, you can rewind. Right now we're talking about the idle spaces and idols. So The poor girls get like the creepiest of stalker fan weirdos who show up, and you see these guys come and try to get hugs and try to really get hugs and palm them up, and it's so frustrating to watch. And I've pulled a few guys off of a bunch of girls already because, like, dude, you cannot fucking touch them that way, or stop. Because sometimes a big problem for the female cosplay community, just in life, is a lot of women don't know how to say no or set boundaries, and the idols get like just so many creeps who I think prey on that the girls just won't say no or won't get help, and it's really uncomfortable to watch. So yeah, the idol space, oh god, it's all sorts of problems. And then they sometimes go to events and they will set up in the middle of a place and start blasting music, whoever, screw everyone else, and start going at it. And sometimes it's good, sometimes they're horrible, sometimes they're just, it's just a poop show, and it's hilarious at how bad it is. So idols, sometimes they're amazing though. Anyway, so when I saw this idol space, I was like, what is this? And this wonderful woman who was working the door here, whose name escapes me. I think it was Katya. She is the ideal person to work a booth at a con. This woman was so nice, understanding, well spoken, and like she was eager. She was very eager, because when she saw Idol Press and I was asking about this, she wanted to tell me the story. And I already knew some stuff about idol stuff, and we're chatting about idol culture and all this stuff. And she just was like, I'm like, I was wishing her the best and that the space grows, because of all the things you just heard me say, I think that idols do need their own space at a con, so they can avoid the creepers, the sickos, the horrible photographers. Get like their own safe space. And I hate using that word. But if there's ever a community that deserves a safe space, it is idols. Because so much negativity seems to follow them. And then the space inside there was great. It was like this big long room for lots of people and this big old stage where they could perform. And I was just generally happy. But again, I came upon this toward the end of the day, I think. And 1 second. Yeah, I always act like I'm the girl's friend and be like, how you doing, and say stuff so that I can scare away the creep. Yes, Kingston, I also do the same thing. Or sometimes I'm just more forceful and I just say, no, you need to stop. That's rude. Get away from her. Don't touch her that way. Look how uncomfortable she is. I have a lot less chill now, because a lot of guys just need to hear no forcefully, because there's a bunch of stupid out there, and there's a bunch of guys who don't either sorry, I'm sick, actively don't get it or pretend they don't get it. So when a Spanish guy comes with a deeper voice and like, get away from her, don't fucking touch her, that's the line, it takes that sometimes to scare these guys off. Sometimes I have to physically get between them and like start moving toward the guy for him to get out. They attract that level of fucked up creeper, and it's really messed up. And anyway, so they have a space here, and this one was a joy to shoot. She said she was a former idol, or she's still in an idol group. I'm sorry, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I loved you. You're so awesome. But she was a big proponent for idols, the community, the performances, and she wanted to get them exposure. Unfortunately for me, I have a history of watching way too many idols suck. And like I've said earlier in the stream, I get headaches very easily. And this was like end of the day Saturday or something like that. So I could not risk getting a headache for the rest of the day or Sunday, because lately my headache's been going on for several days. So I'm like, I'd like to cover it, but I can't. And then I just kind of talked to her about it. And then we were just chit-chatting about like, I think one of my big fears for covering it too is YouTube. I'm trying to grow more on the... grow my YouTube channel more, and I cannot afford channel strikes. So a lot of idols use songs that they don't own, and I told her that, and she's like, yeah, I get that too, and YouTube's a big problem for us, but a lot of idols make their own work, and we're just chit-chatting. This was another person where I feel like I could just chat with. There's several people at the con where it's just like, you know what, this person, this level of energy, this level of awesome deserves to be like, I hope I become this person's friend. I hope I can support her stuff. Like, next time, I'm going to make time to cover the idol space because she pitched it so well. Next time, maybe I'm hopefully Jasmine is able to make it next time, and I'll have her cover the idol space because she can handle loud music better than I can. And I think I'm gonna keep saying her name is Katya. I think we'll try to talk to Katya beforehand and try to see, okay, what songs are original that we could record and we won't get in trouble with. And you know what? I'd be happy to put good performances on the channel. I'm not going to spam this place with bad stuff. We have to keep a certain level of quality here. But if I can get some good original idol performances and promote talented people, I'd be happy to. If they're happy to let me have them on the channel and happy to let Jasmine and I promote it, I'd be delighted to. I mean, I think I would go so far if I could work with the convention to have someone there watch my equipment. I have spare video cameras that I could leave in the idle space. Oh, not I would leave with someone like Katya, like a competent, hopefully competent, good staff member. Like, look, how about you record the videos for me because I cannot be in that space. I have too many other things going on. I would love to be able to, like, okay, I will leave one of my video cameras there, one of my recording devices there, and you just hit record when it is a license-free, what is it called? A license-free song comes on, like somebody's original song, and I will happily promote that. I will happily put that on the channel, and if it's good, we could rate thumbs. And I think with one of my big camcorder, I could plug that into the mic system so that I can have the best audio coming in. That's a good idea. I didn't think about that. I would love to work with them and do that, because then I don't need to like take time out of my day from interviewing people, but I can still cover more of the con. I'm gonna try to work on that. I think that's great. And I felt bad that I said no when I walked away, because she was putting on such an honest pitch. She was trying so hard to promote that and to like help her community out that it was infectious, and like I want to help her. And then, you know what? Idol songs will be beautiful, uplifting, and positive, and I love all that. So, Katya, I think, if not, whoever you are, if you're watching, thank you. You were a joy. You're a great part of the con, and hopefully next year I get to sit through a few idol songs and be a part of your community. So, what else do we have here? This one upsets me so much. So I shot this on my cell phone, and this is another Saturday night cosplay that I saw end of day. This pisses me off so much. Honestly, I'm annoyed looking at her. Not because she had anything wrong with her, but because she's so perfect. And oh my God, I didn't interview her because I thought it was too late. I didn't think the light was good enough. And I snapped this photo, and lo and behold, look how good that shot came out with. I should have interviewed her, because she seemed like she was up for it, but I thought the light was too late. And again, I was exhausted. A part of it too, that I was exhausted. It was like it was Saturday night, my throat was hurting, I was hurting. But I'm just looking at all, there's like, toward the end of the day when the light goes away, then the talented people show up. And that's going to lead to something else. It's just like, oh wait, there's chat. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, Kingston. Act like the girl's friend. You have to be stare at the guys to get them to get the memo. Yeah, guys are stupid. A lot of men are stupid. It's really frustrating. It's really frustrating how like painfully, almost violently direct you need to be with some men until they get it. Like, you have to physically challenge them until they realize, oh, I can't mess with this guy. Oh, I can't pretend I'm stupid with this guy. Oh, they're not going to let me get away with it here. Or, this guy might fuck me up. You have to get to that point with so many men to get them to stop. You know, what is it called? Where is she? This cosplayer, obviously she got some attention, and there was this one dude who just kept walking up to her, who's like, damn, and he just kept like, ooh, like looking at her and like kind of muttering to himself. And he like, okay, for a second, a lot of guys were doing that, but then he hung around, He started getting closer. At one point, he's getting a few feet away, like, yo. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you got to stop. What? You being creepy, give us space. You don't stay like that. But I just want to get a shot. Like, no, we're doing a shoot. You don't get a shot. You wait. And he's playing stupid. And I had to raising my voice and deepening my voice. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here. We're doing a shoot. And you're being creepy. You know you're being creepy. Get out of here. And I rose my voice. And eventually he just, like, meandered off. But, like, dude was being creepy. And it was frustrating. It was so frustrating. Obviously, she's going to get looks in that. But, like, just because she's wearing that, you don't have permission to just start coming up, like, next to her and kind of almost start stroking yourself looking at this shit. You sick fuck. It's just like, oh, God. So, let's see what else I have here. Oh, okay, that's another rant. Anyway, hopefully next year I see this woman again and get to interview her, but I'm just sad I didn't. I hopefully next year I get an insane amount of content. Space Marine, that Space Marine you made a few years ago, that Space Marine video, a Space Moon outfit you guy made. Yeah, that Space Marine cosplay was insane. He was there at the con. I saw him once, but I was on my way to another interview, so I didn't get to ask him. See, that guy, Jeremy, I believe, super talented. In every Otakon, he makes another spectacular cosplay. This Otakon, he did some things from... Oh my God, I forgot the name. Let me see if I can show it. So he did the same cosplay from these guys, Helldivers. He did a Helldivers cosplay, and he did something for some anime whose name I forget. That guy's super talented, and he's nice. Unfortunately, I didn't get to talk to him this year. And, yeah, it is 1 a.m., so my throat is killing me, and I should wrap this up, and I should have some more dinner, since I barely ate anything today. TLDR review. I feel like I still didn't even get through everything with Otakon. It was a great event. I mean, there were some hiccups in the beginning. There was, I think last year, if I were to go to another negative, last year there was some kid who was super disrespectful and condescending to me, who was a con staff. And he really did not try. I think he was trying to poke. And I didn't see him again all weekend until Sunday morning when I was talking to the guy who did the Zhongli cosplay. And he just power walks out of the dealer's room area and says, "Get out of the way! All of you, don't block the path! Get that," and he pointed to Zhongli, "Get that shit out of the way! All of you, move, move, move!" He's like just being a fast walking dick to everyone, trying to tell people to move, and just left. And I didn't see him again. Like, that's that asshole. That's the jerk. And I hope that guy got reported and he doesn't come back, because he was a toxic jerk. He makes the con look bad. He really did. He really does. But besides that and a few other idiots at the con, some staff, a lot of guests, creepy guys, idiots. There weren't that many problems overall. In the grand scheme of things, there really weren't. And it was a beautiful experience. I'm just sad I didn't get more stuff done. I only got 36 interviews, but it was a great time, and I'm super thankful they had me there. I met so many amazing people. I got 36 good interviews, I think. Thousands, I think like 3,400 or 3,500 shots. And just like a great weekend. I got to explore a little bit of Washington, D.C., just a little bit, but it made me want to go back. I got to hang out for a little bit with some nice people. I got to see this one cosplayer I really adore called Alexis. And she's a joy. Unfortunately, she was having a bad weekend, and I kind of was teasing her a bit because she was so out of it. I think at one point we were having this serious conversation, and I started saying a few crazy things to see what her reaction would be, and the poor woman was so out of it she didn't even catch it. So it's like, Alexis, if you're watching, hon, go to sleep. Thank you for watching. It was a joy to see you at the con. I hope you're doing okay. My throat hurts. I'm sick and I'm talking for 4 hours, but I was just, this is kind of what happens after cons, where I just kind of want to talk about it with somebody. like some people, and sometimes if Jasmine goes with me, we get to talk about it. But being able to stream here, I don't even see how many people are watching. I think Kingston, you might be the only one here in chat, but just be able to talk with somebody over everything, like relive the experience, feels good. It's fun. I was thinking about inviting some of the cosplayers that I know have YouTube channels on to do like streams this week, maybe, depending on how I feel. I might need to take a few days off to rest. We'll see. Excuse me. Or keep it very short. We'll see how I feel. But it would be just really. I like talking. It was such a great experience. I want to talk about it, you know? And I'm happy. It was a good weekend. There were some more crazy, funny, stupid things that happened. The heat was horrible to me. Thankfully, the way back, the trip was fine. It was uneventful, besides the horrific DC train station. But Jasmine got me a wonderful seat on the Acela that let me stretch my legs out, and that felt so good. And the ride home was uneventful for the most part. I had a good time, and then like when I came out in New York City, I was gonna take the train home so I could get home fast. But there was like something, they were doing some construction work, something was happening, but the air in the subway was giving me a weird kind of asthma and hurting my throat. And so I decided to walk home. So I ended up walking like some 26,000 steps by the end of the day on Sunday, because not only did I walk all day at the con, and then I walked for like 2.5 hours straight at the DC train station, but I also walked home from the train station 2 miles to my apartment, 2+ miles, and came home. And then I did the stupidest thing. I've been craving a beer all weekend. So I get home, I see Jazz, I get a kiss, I see my cats. They forgot me, broke my heart. And first thing I do after all that, I crack the beer open. I got a Mike's Hard Lemonade, nice little sweet drink, and I just started chugging that Mike's Hard Lemonade, and it tasted so good. Oh my God, it was a good topper. And then I just like took everything I had off, put it in trash bags so I could wash it first. I'm scared of bed bugs. Put everything I had in like trash bags. Got in the shower, took like an hour-long shower, and like oh my God, good water pressure. Jasmine gave me some water. The water quality in DC is so trash. Like, I was in the hotel trying to drink tap water, and it was disgusting, just disgusting. So I had water that tasted luxurious. Got to play with my cats, lay down in my bed. Oh my God, the hotel bed was so trash. And the air conditioner was broken in my hotel room, so I could barely, I did not sleep well all weekend. Just lay down in my mattress like, oh, this is just luxurious. Like, just, you know, like, what is it? No place like home. Oh, it was great. It was great. 1 second. Yeah, that's a good thing about Canada. There's no bed bugs. Unfortunately, you're wrong. There actually are bed bugs happening. I think, yeah, be careful, because you could still get it up there. I hope you don't. But thanks to all the like migration happening, people are bringing stuff up with them, and all the travel too. I remember when I was in college in Plattsburgh, I was told the Greyhound buses, even back then, had bed bug problems, and they would go to Montreal all the time. Hopefully, it just never affects you. You don't want that. But last thing. At the train station, when I got to the train station, there's this, I like wearing my press badge with me after the con. I don't know why, but I like wearing my press badge all the way home. And you get to, sometimes you see some fellow weebs at the con, you say hi to each other, and then there's this guy. This guy stops me and starts trying to have a conversation with me. And he was a nice guy. He had a bit of a stutter, and he seemed shy. But he saw me, and he had that little sense of camaraderie, and he wanted to just talk and say hi and wish me a good day and a good journey. And it was nice. It was really nice. It's like, you know what? Good for you for like making the effort to be social. Good for you for not letting your your stutter like holds you back from being social. Good for you for just being a positive person, sharing the camaraderie. I think he was saying he was LARPing that weekend and having a good time. And like this guy right here, that's the beauty of the convention scene. Like just positive energy. Like when I was in the train station, when I got to the train station, I was surrounded by a whole bunch of like drug addicts and like some people trying to rob other people, some people trying to cause problems. All my con niceness that was gone. That was gone. I immediately went back to New York City mode and ready to fight, just to defend myself, because there are people out there trying to be savages. And then this guy surprised me. He started trying to talk to me like, "What do you want?" And he just wanted to be nice. He just wanted to be social. He just wanted to like share. Yeah, I was there too. And that kind of just melted me for a little bit. Like, yeah, thank you, man. Thank you very much. I'm like, do you mind if I have a photo of you? Because how often are robbery in New York? Oh, I don't know, thousands a day. It's not a good area. But his positivity at the end in a location where I think a lot of cosplayers kind of started keeping to themselves, especially in shady places like this, was beautiful to me. And I really wish like this sort of energy was more common in the world, and that he brought that out at the con, like at this train station, was a great ending to the con. I think a great way to end the weekend, like this guy being social and nice and putting himself out there and wanting to share in the shared passion. So, you stranger, I forgot his name. He told it to me really quick, and I was so just kind of out of it and thrown that it didn't take. Plus, I don't remember things. But thank you, stranger, for being nice and extending that con positivity outside the con. I hope he got home safe. All right, so we started at 9:30, and it is now 1:16 in the morning. There's a few other things I could talk about, but I think I got most of them done. I will say next time I go, I will not bring a book bag. I'll bring a regular suitcase I can carry. That will help my back out a lot and my legs. And that's pretty much it. It was a good time. I recommend Otakon. And for those of you who stuck by, or even to people came late, Kingston, thank you for coming on and watching. I appreciate it. I hope you all have a sensational night. I hope I get to see you at Otakon one day. And I hope I feel well enough to stream more this week. I have more content planned. I have plenty of content backlog done, so there still will be new content, new for the channel. But I might need to take a couple days off. We'll see. Because usually whenever I get sick from a con, I don't just get sick, I get wrecked. Like half near death, dehydrated, wrecked after this. And it's not feeling pretty good right now. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and everything else if you have done so. And thanks for sharing this with me. I want to talk to people about this. And I'm really, really, really happy that I started streaming and I have like a community now where I can do this. So, yeah, this is nice. Have a good night. I'll talk to you later, hopefully this week. Bye. Sit where I end this. End that there.